About us charging tolls.
Is that something you're considering?
I'd rather do that than let them have them, right? Why shouldn't we? We're the winner. We won, okay? They are militarily defeated. The only thing they have is the psychology of, oh, we're going to drop a couple of mines in the water, all right? No, we have a concept where we'll charge tolls, okay? I thought you meant us. If we don't take Greenland, Russia or China will, and I'm not letting that happen. If we don't take Greenland, Russia or China will take Greenland, and I am not going to let that happen.
You know, they can offer you either like...
Yeah, sure, I'd love to make a deal with them. It's easier. But one way or the other, we're going to have Greenland.
死んだは初めて俺に伝えている。
絶望の匂いだ。
面白いこと見せようか。ほら、こんなにガチンが多すぎて。
お父さん、
あかん。
ドナルド君、まだ死ぬ時じゃないでしょ。
アメリカ、万歳、ファイト。
絶対負けないよ。
ランド、ズライドまで。
ゼロ。だってまだサンキュー言ってないでしょ。一回も言ってください。
おい、仲良くしてるね。この世界、季節にいけるかな。昔グレートだった。大きにまたグレートになるかな。あのさ、有名人なら誰かのマンコを掴んでいいさ。そうそうそうそう。見張らせるで。
What's going on, everyone? Welcome into CobraCast 199. I am your host, Jeremy Prime, Mage IDOT of Unit 199. Happy to see all of you here on a Sunday. Happy Sunday. Happy weekend, everyone. Hope everybody's having a good weekend. We got a lot to talk about. We got a lot to catch up on. Man, oh man, it has been a crazy day. There's been a lot happening in the world of politics, as there often is. And we got a hell of an interview from President Trump where he mic dropped NBC, Meet the Press. Do you remember back in the day when Meet the Press was actually respectable? You know, way back in the day when it was actually a show that, you know, was kind of fun to watch and had people that were actually interested in asking legitimate questions. Well, not anymore. Not anymore. So anyway, now we have the DEI version. We have the DEI version of Meet the Press. So here we are. Yeah, Tim Russert was good. He made it respectable. Who was it after Tim Russert? And then we got Kristen Welker. Tim Russert was there, and then there was somebody else after Tim Russert, and I can't remember who it was. I'm drawing a blank on who it was. Was it Chris Matthews? Chris Matthews was, well, he was on Hardball, right? He did Chris Matthews with Hardball with Chris Matthews. Chuck Todd, that's who it was. Chuck Todd, not Chris Matthews. It was Chuck Todd. That's who it was. Weak ass Chuck Todd. But yeah, man. Either way, hope you're all doing well. We are going to be covering that. Mark of Reality for $50 off rip. Off rip. And says, are you going to go over the interview where Trump gets mad and walks out at the end? He pulled the mic out of his ear, stepped on it in the rain. It was classic Trump, where they kept interrupting and changing the subject. We're going to watch, first of all, we're going to watch the moment that has gone viral, but we're going to watch the whole thing. What's up, Cole Hauser? We're going to watch the whole thing. So hail to you, Mark of Reality. And thank you. I appreciate it so much. It's a hell of a moment. It's awesome. It's classic Trump. Now, of course, I was told that Trump has dementia and he doesn't know where he's at and that Melania was going to be divorcing him. And yet none of that seems to happen. Social media is a fake place. Okay. It just is. It's a fake place. Thank you, Mark of Reality. Appreciate it, man. Why is my chat dead? Chat is just completely dead. There it is. Okay, we're back. Little Jim Sailor says Henry Novak's Minecrafter got prison napalmed. I haven't heard anything about that. Somebody tag me on Twitter if there's something going on with that. Fran Forsythe says, you're either corrupt or you're stupid tax. Thank you. Old Salty Dog says, pre-stream King Trump tax. Let's freaking go. Lapco says, Jer, why haven't you read my super chat yet? Don't give me that the stream hasn't started yet. Crap. That's a poor excuse. Okay. I don't really have a good answer. You kind of got me on that one. I really don't have a good answer other than to go fuck yourself. How about that? Okay. That's all I got. Thank you, Lapco. BC Man says, President Trump's interview, especially the ending, was fire. Yes, it was. Ban Nelson says, tsunami watch in Philippines. Are you over there right now? John Orchard says, why am I here? Because I have no other place to go. Hail the grift. Hail the grift indeed. Peter says, I didn't realize that you were streaming tax Beardo Fat. Beardo Fat. There we go. Okay. I had to make sure I read it correctly. Okay. He didn't know it was gay. Says happy Pride Month, Jeremy. And yeah, so obviously everybody's talking about this moment with President Trump. So we're going to jump right into it right here. And this was classic President Trump. Okay. And there's a lot to go over with this, but this is the face of the interviewer right here. She doesn't look too happy, does she? She looks a little angry. All right. So there's that. So there's the face of a very angry DEI hire. But this is definitely classic Trump right here. And let's go to Rapid Response 47. POTUS bodies Kristen Welker on California's pathetic excuse for an election system. Look at here.
It was a dirty election.
Mr.
And it's
President,
happening again right now in
You've never
California.
presented evidence
It's happening
that the
right
2020
now in
election was
California.
rigged.
Right now, look at what's
Where's
happening
the
in
evidence
California.
to that?
It's
The
4
Republicans
days.
are doing well in
California. No, they're not. They're dropping fast because it's a rigged election. Let me tell you, it's 4 days, and they aren't even close to coming up with it.
That's how they count.
You know
the
why
votes
they're doing
in
that?
California.
Because they're cheating on the election.
Do you have evidence to support
all
that?
I have to do is look. All I have to do is look.
That's not evidence.
And I listen to people, and let's see what happens.
But sir, that's not evidence.
Do you think it's appropriate?
That's how they count the votes in
Do you
California.
think it's appropriate that they have an election and 5 days later they're nowhere close to picking a
State
winner?
and local officials acknowledge they are slow.
Yeah, I know. Spencer Pratt just dropped to third place. It literally just happened after 5 fucking days. And this dumb bitch is going to sit here and tell President Trump to his face that they're not cheating in California. Are you kidding me?
They're urging.
No, they're crooked.
They're urging the votes to be counted quickly. That's how they vote
They're
in
crooked,
California.
just like you're crooked. Your press is crooked, and Meet the Press is crooked.
To be fair, I'm not crooked, but let's
Really?
Let's
Well,
continue.
you play right into their hands.
Let's continue.
You're either crooked or you're stupid. You play
continue.
right into their hands with this rap. You know that these elections are rigged. Your network knows that they're rigged. You know that I won an election in a landslide, and I got 94% bad press.
But Mr. President,
You know why
you've
I got
never
that?
presented
Because you have no
evidence.
credibility.
Yep.
But you've never presented evidence that it was rigged. Let's keep talking about. I want to talk about Todd.
You
Blanche.
have more evidence. There's more evidence than ever presented.
Let's talk
Your
about
elections
You
in
went
this
to
country,
court.
we're like a third world country.
But, sir-
Your elections are crooked, and you're crooked, and
But,
Meet the Press is crooked,
Mr.
and so
President-
is ABC and CBS and CNN.
But, Mr.
You're
President-
one-sided crooked networks. Right, let's call it quits because I've had enough.
Done.
Thank you, darling. Have a good
Mr.
time.
President.
Done.
Please, I traveled all the way to
Done.
Wisconsin.
I've sat
Listen to her beg. Listen to her beg. I drove all the way to Wisconsin. Oh, now you want to beg the president to not leave? No. Fuck off.
crooked, and Meet the Press is crooked,
Mr.
and so
President-
is ABC and CBS and CNN.
But, Mr. President-
You're one-sided crooked networks. Right, let's call it quits because I've had enough. Thank you, darling. Have a good time.
Mr. President, let's please. I traveled all the way to Wisconsin.
I've sat
I
in the
traveled
rain with
all.
you.
I know. I
I've sat in the
traveled
rain
all the
with
way
you
to
for an hour,
Wisconsin.
on and off in the rain, and I've given you enough time. You ought to straighten out your press because you know what?
Mr.
A
President,
country can never be
we
great
traveled
with a
all,
dishonest
listen,
press.
we
Come on,
traveled
let's go.
all the way to Wisconsin for this interview.
if we can, somebody, I need this for a thumbnail. It looks like he's about to slap a bitch. All right. It does kind of look like he's about to slap a hoe right now. Let's fucking go. The Don is back. All right. The Don is back. Now, we are going to watch this full interview because it's just too good. Now, I haven't seen the full interview, so we're going to watch the full interview so we can kind of see everything that led up to that moment as well. But she deserved that. She absolutely deserved that. She's a trash person. And I mean, honestly, he shouldn't be giving any of these people any time of day at this point in time. He just shouldn't. He shouldn't be giving any of the mainstream media any of his time. But he continues to do it, I think, because he does like the back and forth. He does like to get into these moments right here with them. But yeah, she's going to end up looking like a clown. This is a DEI hire right here, failing once again. John Jones says, that's my fucking president. Hell yes. Joe Bitt says, Jay, shipping 250 Duke to your GOG PO box tomorrow. Let's go. Hell yeah. All right. That's what I'm talking about, Joe Bits. Thank you so much, man. That is awesome. Jeremy, you should interview him. Well, I'm not going to interview him, at least no time soon. But let me see what I'm allowed to say here. Because I got confirmation. I should grift this, but I'm not going to grift it. I'm just gonna say what I'm allowed to say. Because the grifting, I'm just going to trust the process, and the grifting will hopefully follow. We'll see. But here's what I'm allowed to say. I have permission to say that I have been invited to Washington, D.C., to the area of Washington, D.C., for an event hosted by the administration. That is what I'm allowed to say. I have been invited to the D.C. area to an event hosted by the administration. Those are the exact words that I was told I was allowed to say. So, that's all I can say. I can't say anything else. I will not confirm nor deny what you're saying in the chat because I can't. But I will say that the thing that people are saying is probably not the thing that it is. Probably something else. But that's all I'm allowed to say at this point in time. And the only way that this was possible was because of the snake pit. It's the only way this was possible. So as soon as I can give you more information, I will. But that's all I'm allowed to say at this point in time. So and I will I would like to thank there's another person that made all of this happen, because as I've said, I'm never looking to be invited to these things. It was never my goal to be invited to any type of function or anything. It's never been my goal. I know a lot of people that have those connections. I have never reached out to ask for those favors or anything like that. However, someone did contact me and said, hey, I got this opportunity. Are you interested? I'm like, well, if you think that, if you think that I'm worthy of that, then yeah. But yeah, absolutely crazy. So anyway, super, super happy and excited. We'll see what happens. As soon as I can give you more information, I will. But Bubba Doom says lady reporter spelled like ant, but it ain't. Dark Manic says, I just finished recording the game Directive 8020 for my channel and tuned in to see Trump lecturing a Brown DEI hire. Wait, what did I miss? Oh, we're going to go over the whole interview. CG says, honestly, it sort of looks like Trump was about to pick her up and physically move her out of his way. Media doesn't know what honesty even means. That is true. Luis says, invited to DC, sell out, kiss the wall. I peed on the wall. Lapco says, but Jer, you call Beardo fat without evidence and say Ryan has a giant forehead when no courts ever ruled on that. Wow, journalism is easy. Alyssa MJ for 20 on Rumble says rigged election tax. Thank you for the $20. Uper Viking for $10 on Rumble says pretty sure I owe you money tax. I like those kinds of Rumble rants / super chats. I really do. I appreciate those. My Derek says, who would be inviting Jeremy? Any place. Why? Grandis of Potato says Jeremy got invited to a fig convention. Rock Bottom says Jeremy could get on Timcast now. I'll pass. Horror Amarada says administration of what? Wetards Anonymous. What's up, Horror Amarada? Okay, so let's go through this whole thing. At least, full interview right here. Trump says Iran is not an endless war as conflict reaches 100 days. This is the full interview with President Trump and Kristen Welker of Meet the Press. Here we go.
Midterm pressures are growing with no clear end to the war in sight. On Friday, President Trump took his case to rural voters in Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin. At the invitation of the White House, we joined him at Custer Farms and had a wide-ranging interview that was unfortunately interrupted multiple times by the stormy weather overhead. President Trump, welcome back to Meet the Press.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here. We are going to talk about your visit while you're here in Wisconsin, but I'd like to start off by talking about the major issue that you are focused on every day, which is Iran. Mm-hmm. Sunday will mark 100 days since the first strikes. Your Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, said that the war had concluded. And yet just this week, Iran attacked U.S. allies in the region, calling it retaliation for a set of U.S. airstrikes. Is the United States at war with Iran?
Well, they've been largely decapitated, and I call it a military exercise because people would rather have it called that. It's not a big war for us. It's not. We have the most powerful military in the world. I built it, frankly. I built it in my first 4 years, and I'm using it a little bit in my second 4 years. Their Navy is gone. Their Air Force is gone. Their anti-aircraft is gone. They might have built it up a little bit over the last 4 weeks during this little ceasefire that we did at the request of some very good people. Very, very fine.
I got to pause this just for a minute because, it is official now. Spencer Pratt is now in third place. Because of mail-in voting. Mail-in voting, now Spencer Pratt has plummeted to third place. If you believe this, you are an idiot. If you think this is legit, you are a complete retard. A magical late mail performance for Ramen. Shocker. They did it right in front of us. Outlaw election month, outlaw late mail-in ballots, and require universal voter ID and citizenship. Are you kidding me? What a complete joke California is. A complete and total joke. I will keep my eye on this as we continue to watch this interview.
People from, actually from numerous places, as you know, there are a lot of people involved, but from Pakistan in particular, the field marshal and the prime minister. And we're very close to having a deal. And if we don't have a deal, we'll do it one way or the other. Either way, we win.
I do want to talk about the terms of any potential
Sure.
deal in just a moment, but let me just follow up with you. You did post on social media just this week, my final negotiations to end the war with the Islamic Republic of Iran. There is a naval blockade in place, which technically is an act of war under international law. So is this a war as long as there's a naval blockade in place?
Well, we have a blockade. It's been extremely effective. And the reason we have it is they try to blockade, and now we blockaded them. And as you know, they're losing $400 to $500 million a day. It's not sustainable for them. They have an economy that's shot in addition to everything else. Their leaders are gone. Their generals are gone. Their first tier and second tier are gone.
just as a recap here, or a frame of reference here, do we remember anybody in the media questioning Biden or Obama about anything ever? Do we remember the media ever holding them accountable for anything? Because I don't. By the way, Pre-Dawn Corpse for 52 kicks over on Kick. Thank you.
Much of their third tier is gone. But they put up a blockade, and so we blockaded them, and we have the ultimate blockade. I don't consider that a war, but if you want to define it as such, I guess you can.
Well, how do you define it?
I don't define it at all. I don't think about it. I just do what I have to do.
But if you're not specifically calling it a war, would you consider sending some of the troops who are stationed there, who were sent because of Operation Epic Fury there home? No, would you consider sending them home if it's not technically a war?
We don't need as many troops. I think it's just like it's on the to err on the side of caution. We have a lot of people there. They're very safe. You know, if you think we beat Venezuela, we lost nobody. We took over the whole country. We lost nobody. We have a great relationship, by the way, with Venezuela. Venezuela is doing very well, but we lost nobody. We've lost 13 people here, and that's a lot. 13 people too many. But if you look at Vietnam, where hundreds of thousands of people were killed, if you look at any one of the last 7 or 8 wars where many, many people were killed, we lost 13. And again, 13 is too many. I don't want to lose any. But 13 is less than anybody's ever even envisioned. I think we're doing a great job.
But so are you saying you would consider sending some of the troops home, sir? Some of the 50,000 troops who were sent there as a part of Operation Epic?
He's not going to give you any specifics on this.
Say this, it costs us very little to keep them there. I don't consider them in danger. We have the best defense anyone's ever seen. We have the best offense anyone's ever seen. So I don't consider it danger. I would say it would be foolhardy to do that because maybe we may use them. It's unlikely, but I think we'll keep them there until such time as we have a completion. And when we have a completion, you will see things like you've never seen. The oil will go down. The stock market already, as you know, it's hit an all-time high. Even in the midst of it, it hit all-time highs. We had
if somebody said, hey, can you give us answer on military plan? Yeah, can you give us like all of the details of your military plans here on national TV? Can you tell us exactly what your plan is with all of the military tactics and your decisions? Can you give us for the next month? Can you tell us every detail? Shut the fuck up.
73 all-time highs in a short period of time that I've been in office, which is a record, by the way. And, you know, we're doing very well. But the main thing is we cannot let Iran have a nuclear weapon. Can't do it.
What is
and we won't do it.
Yeah, you just referenced the 13 Americans who were killed. And I want to know what your red line is. What would trigger you to restart military action? Would it be Iran killing more American citizens?
Well, certainly that would be something that I would think about very seriously. But
why would he tell that? Why would he say, well, Kristen, here's what would make me upset is if Iran did X, Y, and Z to us. That would be my red line. What kind of question is that?
My red line would be if I think I wasn't going to make a deal or if I wasn't going to make a deal fast enough. So we're having very good negotiations with the people that are leading the country now. It's the third group that we've been dealing with, and they are different. And you could say it's regime change, actually, because these are very different people. I find them to be more rational, very smart.
Who is that? Who's leading the country?
Well, I don't want to go into names, but you know who they are. I mean, they're leaders. They're respected. Respected by the people that have to respect them. They are calling the shots. We know that because we see it through various tests that we've given. It's a little bit strange because you have leaders that have been there for a long time and they get wiped out. Then you have leaders that you also know, the second tier, and they get wiped out. All of a sudden, we're dealing with different people. But no, I think that we'll either have something done fairly quickly or we'll finish it out militarily.
Are you talking about the son of the supreme leader?
Well, he's a part of it, yes.
He has not been seen in public. What is his
but
status? Have you talked to him directly?
I do believe they have great respect for him. I see it. I mean, they want
meet the DEI. Yes, meet the DEI.
They've said to me, they've said to others that they're looking for approval, and he is part of the approval process. Absolutely.
Have you spoken to him directly? You
I have
said you
not.
want to meet with him.
No, I have not. I would if he'd like to, but I have not spoken to him directly.
Do you know where he is?
I will tell you, they
how
do.
he is?
Yeah.
Yes, I know exactly where he's at. I know exactly where he's at. I know the exact location. Would you like for me to show you where he's at? Would you like me to give you the GPS coordinates? God, man.
They do pay homage to him. I would tell you if they didn't. They seem to, based on what I see, they seem to respect him a great deal.
Do you know where he is? Do you know how he is doing physically?
I don't want to say whether or not I know where he is, but there's a good probability that I do.
Is he inside Iran?
I'd rather not say that.
Okay, he is the son of the last supreme leader, who was obviously a hardliner. Is this younger Khomeini? And
he literally just said he doesn't want to say where he is. And she follows up with, is he in Iran? This level of stupidity is pretty incredible. But this is the result of a DEI hire, because she is a DEI hire. Make no mistake. And she has levels of TDS. As you can see, we have stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4, and ultimately stage 5 of TDS. And she is showing you all 5 stages right there.
Any better for the United States than his father was?
Younger, I think more rational, injured. He's pretty badly injured. So there's a certain bravery there. A lot of people, if they were injured that badly, they wouldn't be talking about, how we doing with the United States. They'd have other things on their mind. So there's a certain bravery there. But he is very seriously injured, yeah.
What is the status of talks exactly in this moment? How close are you to making a deal? Are we talking about days, weeks, months, Mr. President?
I think we're very close. We have a couple of points.
These are so dumb. These are so dumb. He's going to answer this the same way he's answered it for the past month. We're close. That's what he's going to say.
Even seem like big points. They've conceded the fact that they will not have nuclear weapons. We had a clause in there that we will not develop nuclear weapons, and everybody was very happy with it except me. And I said, well, what happens if they not develop, but they go out and purchase, they acquire? I want to put the word, if they buy or purchase or acquire, you've got to have that in there too, because that's not developing. So they don't have the right to develop or purchase, acquire, or buy.
Have they pushed back against that? Is that one of the sticking points?
A little bit, and then they didn't.
Okay. You have been saying for months, Mr. President, that Iran is begging to make a deal.
True.
If they are so desperate to make a deal, why haven't they made a deal with you yet?
Because it's a very hard thing for them. They've had great independence. They've dealt with very weak and ineffective leadership on behalf of the United States and other countries, frankly, that allowed them to get away with murder. And I think they can't believe they're in the situation where they've been virtually decapitated.
But if they're so desperate, Mr. President, why haven't they said yes to the terms you're proposing?
Strong, they're proud. There are things they never thought they'd be doing that they're going to have to do. They've got no choice. And it takes a little while. You're talking about 47 years of getting away with whatever they wanted. I mean, this should have been done long ago. This should have been done by other presidents or other countries. It doesn't have to be.
I wish he would like answer in the most sarcastic way possible. Well, Kristen, let me ask you a question. Since you're so concerned with illegal immigration and their rights, why don't you let them move into your house? I mean, if you care so much about illegal immigrants and their safety, why don't you let them move into your house? If we're going to ask retarded questions, let's ask retarded questions.
Yes, other countries. But they were very close to having a nuclear weapon twice. That was when I terminated the Iran nuclear deal, which was a path. That deal the JCPOA. That deal was tantamount to giving them a nuclear weapon. It was a horrible deal given by Barack Obama and really penned by him. It was a horrible deal. It was, it expired long ago. I terminated it. But had I not terminated it, it expired long ago. It was a short-term deal. It was a road to a nuclear weapon. They would have had a nuclear weapon 5 years ago.
But Mr. President, I'm curious because when you were campaigning, you said you would rip up the Iran nuclear deal, but negotiate a better deal.
That's
Why
what I'm
didn't you
doing.
negotiate a better deal at the time? Because after it was ripped up,
Let me get a couple of these super chats really quickly. Vault199 Gaming says, Cobra Gaming inspired me to drop new game videos. We had a great night streaming last night over on the gaming channel. It was a lot of fun. Peter says, Jeremy for President 2044, mandatory 199 streams for all. All the Mo Kisses says 10 months of entertainment. Thanks so much. Thank you. I appreciate it. Breadboxen says Jeremy Griggs going to DC for his Senate confirmation for his cabinet position as Secretary of blank. Never going to happen. Dark Red Knight says, will there be a watch party for the White House fights? Don't know yet. He didn't know it was gay. Says O'Keefe has videos of them paying for votes. Vault199 Gaming says $1,000 super chat to play tic-tac-toe on Ryan's forehead. Jake the Movie Geek says, why isn't John Thune passing the Save America Act? Because he's a coward. Packy Proton says, breaking, multiple people stabbed in Penn Station in NYC. No deal with Iran. Bridge and power plant day. Shaky Owns says, explain to me why Trump has to care about international law, but blue states can ignore federal law. I wish I had a good answer for you, but I don't. Darth Manic says, as a MAGA Trumper for life, got to say 47 looks tired. Again, weight of the world's heavy. He can recover as he has before. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he's tired. I mean, the dude's like 80 years old. So, and he works constantly. So, Solo Felix says, they asked Biden what his favorite ice cream was. Exactly. Slade Lawton says, why does President Trump even bother with taking interviews with the mainstream? Also, you're so old you remember George Lucas without gray hair. The good old days.
there weren't guardrails and they escalated their production of it.
Yeah, I'm seeing right now what's going on in California too. So I am keeping an eye on all of that. I mean, it's absolutely disgusting. It really is. They've basically screwed over Spencer Pratt, which is exactly what we anticipated they would do. So the fact that they've pulled this off is really unbelievable. So there it is. Ramen Noodle defeats Spencer Pratt after late mail-in ballots surge her ahead 5 days post-election day. Decision Desk HQ just called it. California elections are a total disgrace. So they just rigged an election right in front of our faces, and they don't even care. They don't even care. A worldwide embarrassment worse than the third world. I played the clip of Trump the other day talking about it. They've got to get involved in this shit. They just have to. Here's the clip right here of Trump the other day.
Mail-in ballots. You see that's what's happening in California. They're rigging the election. Now, maybe we caught them and maybe they won't be able to get away with it. They tried with me. They did it successfully the second time. The third time, we made it too big to rig. Too many votes. They couldn't do it. They can only go. They sort of gave up at about 9:07 when they got slaughtered with the votes that came in. But no mail-in ballots except for illness, disability, military, or travel. So we're being very progressive. And we just don't want cheating in our elections. And you see it happening in California. Those numbers are coming down rapidly. They found a lot of mail-in ballots last night, shockingly. So we don't want that. And one thing I think that's done is expose how corrupt our media is. And I really do, while we're here, I hope the media looks at this election that's taking place in California, where they think it'll take 7 or 8 days to count the votes. Can you believe this? I mean, they spend all that money on the machines, the big voting machines. They think it's going to be 7 or 8 days before we know who won the election. But the numbers are looking strange because without any vote counting, the numbers dropped very precipitously for two Republicans that are doing well, that had been doing well. And I hope you're all watching it because I'm watching it very closely.
Man, this is a complete embarrassment. Unreal. So we are keeping our eye on all of that, and we'll see what Trump's response to all of that is as well. Marmillan for 20 says stream chat grift tax, doubling it for being late. Thank you, Marmillan. Hail to you, brother. As always, showing up and supporting. Let's freaking go. East Coast Hosted Boy says, I really got to get my streaming stuff ordered. Yes, you do. You got to get on it, man. Daniel Whitley says, theory, they let it happen so they can get them. I mean, I hope, but I don't believe that.
Enriched uranium.
Excuse me.
Uh-oh.
It takes years.
Rails, and they escalated their
He gave her the
production of
excuse me.
enriched uranium.
Excuse me. It takes years to do these things. These people have been fighting for 47 years. They've been killing Americans. They've been taking off their legs and their arm, and their faces have been hurt so badly and so horribly. I'm moving very fast. I'm into 3 months. You know, Vietnam lasted 19 years. I'm into my 3rd month. And all I do is say, whoa, when are you going to win? If I were a Democrat, nobody would be talking that way, but it doesn't matter to me. I've gotten so used to it. Look, we have totally destroyed their military. They have some missiles left. They have some drones left.
Do you know how many missiles?
Yes, exactly.
How many?
I don't want to tell you.
Can you give me a
But
ballpark?
they have some left.
Mellow Yellow says, well, I tried super chatting, but it's not working. Well, if you're on your phone, just force close the app and open it. That could help. Yeah, just wanted to see if I can help you out there because obviously I would love to help you super chat if I can.
No, but I know almost to the number, and we know where they are too. And we know where their drones are, and we know where their drone factories are. Most of the drone factories have been knocked out. Most of the launching pads have been knocked out, and most of the missile manufacturing areas have been knocked out. But they still have capacity. They have some missiles. They have some drones. I would say percentage-wise, maybe 21, 22% of their missiles. It's a lot of missiles, but it's not what it was when we first attacked.
So you're saying they have 21, 22% of their missiles left?
Correct, yes.
Okay. Let's talk about what specifically you are demanding as a part of this short-term deal. Will the United States agree to a deal with Iran that doesn't explicitly and immediately give up its nuclear enrichment?
We are 12 minutes into this interview, and she's still asking stupid questions that he's not going to answer.
Program on the front end.
Well, you know, depending on when you say immediately, look, it is buried under mountains because our B-2s were incredible. The pilots of our B-2s were unbelievable. And it's buried. They can't get it. The only 2 countries that could take it, that have the equipment to take, you have to understand, 3 mountains have fallen in on them, right? So you understand that because the fake news was going around saying, oh, maybe they didn't hit their target. 1 o'clock in the morning, pitch black, no moon, no nothing. And every one of those bombs went right down those chutes and blew up. They can't get it no matter what. I mean, they can get it, I guess, with years of work. But the only 2 countries that can get it are us and China, because we're the only 2 with the equipment that's capable of doing that kind of work.
Hey, Mellow Yellow with a 50. It looks like it worked. You see what customer service does? I saw a struggling commenter in the chat. I saw a struggling commenter saying, Jeremy, you got to help me. I can't super chat. This is the result of helping the people right here, okay? I plunged my hand into the filth of the internet and I said, I will help you, commenter. I will help you. Because I care. Tim Pool won't even read your $50 super chats. I'm reading your regular comments in order to get your super chats. And as you can see right here, Mellow Yellow, I was lost. And I was here to help. Thank you, Mellow Yellow. I appreciate it. I really do. Thank you, brother. Let's back up here. Trump's gonna tell us a story here.
And
here we go.
they can't get it no matter what. I mean, they can get it, I guess, with years of work. But the only two countries that can get it are us and China, because we're the only two with the equipment that's capable of doing that kind of work. And it would take weeks of digging. So the answer is, yeah, we're going to do it immediately. We're going to start looking very quickly, and we'll do it with them. If we make it.
Slade Law says, I'm confused. Why are we watching this stupid chick interviewing Trump? Well, because at the end of it, he walks away. But I wanted us to see how the whole thing built up to him getting frustrated and walking away from her. So that is why.
A deal,
With
we'll
China.
do it with them. No, we're going to do it with the Iranians. So if we make a deal, that means we'll be friendly. We'll do it with the Iranians. If we don't make a deal, we may do it, or we may just watch it. You know, we have cameras on it all over it. If anybody walked there, if you walked over there, I would be able to read your first name on your lapel. And these are cameras up in space. It's pretty amazing technology. Space Force. We have cameras all over the site. We know if anybody goes there. If anybody went there, any digging mechanism, any truck, any tractors, anything, anybody went there, we would know. We will.
Now, if you're curious about what you're hearing in the background, it's raining over this barn or shed, whatever they're in right now.
Take care of it. Is that wind or what?
Is that rain?
What is that?
This would be the first of multiple interruptions due to the weather. Rain hitting the metal roof, making it difficult for both of us to hear each other. So as we're having this conversation, we can hear a little bit of rain.
No, a lot of rain.
A lot of rain. Let me try to get a clear.
I love how he corrects her on that. Classic Trump, man. Classic Trump.
Us to hear each other. So as we're having this conversation, we can hear a little bit of rain.
No, a lot of rain.
A lot of rain. Let me try to get a clear understanding of how the United States would get the nuclear material out. You've called it nuclear dust.
Yeah.
Will you and would you be open to sending in U.S. forces to retrieve the nuclear stockpile?
So the official name is highly enriched uranium. And I call it nuclear dust because it seemed to be nice and everyone understands it better and it's sort of cute and people picked it up. But the way you do it is if we make a deal, that now we're friendly, we'll all go together. It'll be our equipment. We'll take it out and destroy it, whether it's on site or whether we take it off site.
So that would require U.S. forces.
Well, that will require, we will have a deal. We'll be friendly. In other words, we will have made a deal and we will be at peace. And we will go with them or without them, but we won't have people shooting at us, okay? Now, if we don't make a deal, then we're going to take them out militarily very harshly.
Hey, we got a rate from Smash JT. What's up, Smash JT? Hail to the Raiders from Smash. What's up? Thank you, brother. Appreciate you, as always. And thanks to all the people in the chat.
And we'll wait till we do that before we go, in which case we'll have safety either way.
Mr. President, I wonder, how long are you willing to give Iran to make a deal? How much longer? You've been talking for quite some time.
That. Well, you really haven't. You were in Vietnam for 19 years. You were in Iraq for many years. You were in Korea for many, many years. You were in all the, I won't even talk about World War II, because that was the big one, and we don't want to ever have that. But you were in all these different wars for many years with thousands and thousands of people killed. We've had 13 people killed, which I hate. We've had 13 people killed, and that includes 2 wars. That's Venezuela, and that's Iran.
But do you have a cutoff point
No, but you
in
keep
your
talking
head?
about speed, Kristen. You were in Vietnam for 19 years, and you're telling me about 3 months. And in 3 months, I've demolished the Navy, the Air Force, anti-aircraft. They have no radar. They have no nothing.
Turn up the audio. I can't. It's as loud as it goes. And the extension that I have through Chrome does not work through StreamYards for some reason.
Demolished their leaders. Their leaders are gone.
Do you know where all of Iran's nuclear material is?
Yes.
Sir?
Yes.
Would you unfreeze any Iranian assets or lift any sanctions up front as a part of any
No.
deal? So that would come after
Comes after, yeah. If
they
behave,
turned
if
over
Thanks,
do
Mash.
their
I appreciate it,
job,
brother.
Yeah.
material.
Unlike Obama. Obama flew a Boeing 757, a plane I know very well. They took the seats out and they loaded it up with $1.7 billion in cash from the banks in Maryland and Virginia and D.C. They emptied out the banks and they gave them 1.7 in green and they gave them tens of billions of dollars, just kept giving them money and it didn't work.
Would any, again,
That
Mr.
never works,
But
by the
again,
way.
Mr. President, you promised that you were going to negotiate a better deal. Do you
I
wish
have.
you'd done it in your first term when you ripped it up at that, before you ripped
No,
up
they
the
weren't
deal?
ready. No, this is much better. This is much better.
Why is she asking him things he said 2 minutes ago? Because she's part of the mainstream media and they are retarded. Loser Alter Ego says, you could stop screaming and we turn up on our end. You've done it before, but no, I got to break my shit. I'm sorry. I've got to commentate. I've got to make this transformative content. Okay. That's how it works on YouTube.
If I would have done it,
Unless I was Hassan Piker, and then I wouldn't have to add anything to it. I could just play the video. I could go make me some SpaghettiOs. I could go shock my dog. If I was Hassan, I could do all of these things while never pausing the video. But unfortunately, I have to actually, add some value to the video that I'm reacting to, unlike Hassan.
in my first term, Israel wouldn't have been ready. Hear that sound of thunder, lightning.
Is that going
rain?
to interrupt, guys?
No,
Okay.
people will understand. We're in a
He answered it for her. Look how she's asking everybody else. He's like, no, it'll be fine.
Is that going to
Rain?
interrupt, guys?
No,
Okay.
people will understand. We're in a farm.
That's true. Will any deal you make include the release of Americans who are being held by Iran?
Well, we talk about it and we'll see. Nobody really has an accurate list of who they are, what they are, or if they're being held. But if they're, we've been talking about it. Nobody really has a list. You know that, right? You're asking me about, nobody has a list.
But are you demanding a list? Are you demanding to know and saying they've got to come
You're supposed
home?
to give me the list. I mean, do you know people that we're talking about? If you give me the names, I'll do my best to get them
Well,
out.
I don't think that's been reported.
Huh?
I don't think it's all of the people who've been held.
All I'm saying is
That's literally what he's saying. He's literally saying that. You look at her face. Look how angry she is right now. Look at her face. Again, just so we're clear, okay? This is the path of TDS right here. She's getting close. Those crazy eyes. Alan Tanasi for 20 says, yo, good Jer. Did you already cover my good friend Allison Steinberg? Confront Pelosi over J6 and offer her a free pillow. I might have missed it. We were there and we know that the National Guard was nowhere by the Capitol. I have not seen that one. So if you want to tag me, if somebody wants to tag me on Twitter, I have not covered that though, Alan. Hail to you. Glad you're back too. I know you took a break for a while from the internet, which everybody should do. No, I have not seen that one though. All right, let's go back to Crazy Eyes right here. Look at her. Holy crap, she is mad.
No.
if you have a list of names, give them to me and I will get them
But is
out.
it something you talk to them about?
We talk about people if they have them, but nobody knows who they are. Just like you don't know who they are.
You have openly said
He just made his entire point. You're asking him about Americans being held, and he's like, we don't know. We don't have a list. Do you have a list?
I'll do my best to give me the list.
But are you demanding a list? Are you demanding to know and saying they've got to come
You're supposed
home?
to give me the list. I mean, do you know people that we're talking about? If you give me the names, I'll do my best to get them
Well,
out.
I don't think that's been reported.
Huh?
I don't think it's all of the people who've been held.
All I'm saying is this.
known.
If you have a list of names, give them to me, and I will get them
But is
out.
it something you talk to them about?
We talk about people if they have them, but nobody knows who they are. Just like you don't know who they are.
You have openly said you've been frustrated by Israel's continued bombing of Lebanon. Are you and Prime Minister Netanyahu on the same page?
Yeah, we are. We get along very well. We've been great comrades. We did a very, very big number on a certain country that was nothing but trouble for 47 years. I disagree with him on a couple of things.
On Lebanon?
I'd like to see Lebanon have a better life. I'd like to see a more surgical attack on Hezbollah. I think it should be more surgical. And we can help them with that, or we can recommend Syria. Syria is doing a very good job of cleaning up their act. They have a very good leader. They have a leader that's really done a good job in a short period of time, and he would love to help.
Are you demanding that Lebanon be a part of the short-term deal?
Why are you like, oh my God. It reminds me of the Jordan Peterson interview where it's like, are you saying? By the way, somebody just sent me a tweet that I got to show you because things are getting kind of interesting. And I will be looking into exactly, I mean, I already know a little bit about what's going on. Devin, thank you for sending this to me. Mark Levin he's having a rough time right now. Why are we turning on Israel and Netanyahu tonight? Wow. Machiavelli Memes has the best reply to this. All right. Machiavelli Memes says, why? Because fuck them. That's why. Oh, that's a great response. I'm going to look into this more, though.
I'm not at all. I'm not the man.
Okay.
I think they'd like to see it, but I'm not the man.
Okay. I wonder if we should, let me just get a gut check here. Should we pause for 5 minutes and let this pass? I just want to be able to hear everything he said. The rain did not stop, but neither did our interview. When we come back, President Trump on his promise to never start a new war.
Like Trump's going to stop an interview. Like Trump's not going to stop. He doesn't care.
Consistent big picture now, Mr. President. One of your consistent campaign promises was no new wars, going all the way back to 2015. Did you break that promise to the American people?
No. I had to stop a country, very powerful, very dangerous country, from having a nuclear weapon because they'd use it. They'd blow up the world. They'd blow up the Middle East. They'd blow up Israel.
Eric Mather says, I wouldn't trust her to make me a sandwich. Okay, hold on. Now, I know we do a lot of criticizing and memeing and all of that. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I don't think that Kristen Welker couldn't make a damn good sandwich, okay? I think she could make a damn good sandwich. So I'm not going to take that away from her, okay? I bet she could make a damn fine sandwich.
They'd come here, they'd blow up Europe. They're nuts, okay? They're crazy people. I deal with them. And very high-strung people. A little crazy. And get along with them. I like them. But you don't want to let them have a nuclear weapon. And I'm doing the world a service, but I'm doing our country a service. You know, it's America first. I'm doing our country a service. Nice rain.
It is raining hard. Okay.
But the answer is good.
She's so scared of the rain. And Trump's like, yeah, let's keep going. Like, what do you... He doesn't care.
It's raining hard. Okay.
But the answer is good. Let's just keep going.
Let's keep going.
Let's power through it, right?
Here, we paused nearly 5 minutes for the rain to pass and then picked up our conversation. So you're saying you didn't break your promise, and yet, Mr. President, in your first term, you held to that promise, and it was so fundamental to who you were as a candidate to a first-term president. What changed? Because you insisted no new wars.
I didn't guarantee no war. Why would I have built the strongest military in the world? I built our military. I inherited a terrible military. We had no equipment. We had nothing. I built it tremendous.
I'm so happy that he said that, because that's kind of been my argument against it is, you know, the idea that we live in a world where we will never have war. Why do you support the military being rebuilt by Trump if you also want to live in a world where you can't ever use that military to protect the United States of America? It's such a retarded statement where people are like, I voted for no new war, and I also wanted Trump to rebuild our military. It's like, you understand the military is there to protect the homeland, right? Like, you understand that's why we want to have the strong military, right? So that we can actually deal with things that need to be dealt with. Again, I am 100% not a fan of war. I don't want war. I don't want us in endless wars. I don't want us involved in things that have nothing to do with us. And I will continue to say that. I'm not loving the fact that this Iran thing is going on. But the guy that I voted for, I'm going to say something controversial. I've said this a few times before. Okay. This is going to be very shocking. Okay. It's going to be very shocking. This guy right here that's hosting this show, you know, me, retarded me, guy that sits around, plays Fortnite and bitches about, you know, Marvel and Star Wars. Trump may have a little bit more information than I do. I know it's a crazy statement to think that President Trump may have a little bit more information than a fucking podcaster. I know I'm treading in very controversial territory right now. But yes, Trump has a little bit more information than your random podcast bro. So the guy that won in a landslide, the guy that rebuilt our military, and by the way, if you are a member of the military, or if you have a friend or a family member that was a member of the military during the Joe Biden years, you either already know what I'm about to say, or I would encourage you to ask your friend or family member to confirm what I'm about to say. You have no idea just how bad the military morale was when Joe Biden was in office. I have multiple family members that were in the military. I'm telling you, it was fucking horrendous. It was horrendous. You're going to have members of the military in this chat that will tell you it was at an all-time low. It was horrific. Trump has rebuilt us from that for a reason.
Military, Biden gave a lot of it away, but it's still a relatively small portion compared to what I built.
But you said it over and over again, Mr.
Why would I
President?
build a military? Now, I didn't want to use this, but I'm doing you and everybody else a big favor. In the midst of the greatest stock market in history, in the midst of the most successful country, because as you know, in the last term, we were a dead country, Kristen. I know you're a big liberal, a big progressive.
No,
but
I'm just
I was not prepared for him to say that. I know you're a big liberal.
in the midst of the most successful country, because as you know, in the last term, we were a dead country, Kristen. I know you're a big liberal, a big progressive.
No,
but
I'm just a journalist.
We were a dead country. A year ago, a couple of years ago, we were a dead country. Now we have the hottest country anywhere in the world. And at the all-time hottest point, which is probably now, believe it or not, we just had all brand new stock market records today. But at the hottest point in the history of our country, I took Scott, Howard, I took Pete, I took everybody into a room. I said, I have to do this country, this world, the Middle East, Israel, everybody a favor. You have Iran. They're going to have a nuclear weapon. Barack Hussein Obama signed the JCPOA. It was a horrible deal. Horrible deal. Listen to me. It was a horrible deal. It was a path to them getting.
This is how every husband has to talk to his wife. What Trump just said, if you have ever talked to your woman, listen to me. You already see them getting emotional. You're like, listen to me. You have to deal with it before it happens. Every man knows that situation.
Barack Hussein Obama signed the JCPOA. It was a horrible deal. Horrible deal. Listen to me. It was a horrible deal. It was a path to them getting a nuclear weapon. They were very close to having a nuclear weapon. I terminated the deal. Wait. Then I sent the B-2 bombers in about 9-10 months ago, and they totally obliterated the site, and I saved it. We had a choice. We could let them have a nuclear weapon, or we could go along and have some beautiful days. But they would have, it's a judgment. They would have used the nuclear weapon. And you know what? When people hear that whole scenario, when they hear me say Iran was going to have a nuclear weapon, and they're crazy, they say you're doing the right thing. I don't think it's I mean, you'll do polls because they're all fake polls anyway, especially yours. But you do polls.
Now we are at the 23-minute mark right now. So for those that are just, tuning in, this ultimately ends with Trump walking out and stepping on the microphone. So we're watching, we're starting to watch where his frustration level is going to start getting worse and worse. And he's finally going to walk out of the interview. So that's why we're going through this whole thing.
I just won a big election. And the reason I won an election is people have confidence in me. I have good judgment. I had to make a judgment. Do I want to go along and have a country that's doing really well, but somebody is going to try and kill us? Or do I want to put out that horrible threat? And I did. I put it out. I put it out for many, many years. Now I'm going to put it out permanently. I'm going to do it either through negotiation, where we're very close to a deal, or I'm going to blow the hell out of them, to be honest with you. And it's going to be very easy for me to do. That's actually the easier path. So when you say I promised, I didn't promise anything. I don't like these endless wars. This is not an endless war. We've been doing this for 3 months. Much of it has been under the form, a pretty good form of ceasefire. The blockade has been amazing. Our Navy is amazing. Our military is the best in the world. Hey, we took over a very powerful country, Venezuela, a lot of soldiers, big, strong military. We took over Venezuela in a matter of minutes. We destroyed the capability of Iran in a matter of days. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. Now I'm going to finish it. But remember, you were in Vietnam 19 years because stupid people. You were in so many different countries. Every war you were in for years. Look at Iraq. Look what you were. You were there for years. Yeah. We're there for, listen, Kirsten, we're there for a few months. And the threat is largely over. Soon it will be over. But you cannot let Iran have a nuclear weapon, or they will blow you up. There will be no Kristen. There will be no NBC. There will be no Meet the Press. You will end the Meet the Press string.
Let me ask you, though, during your 20.
Oh, man, he's got a way with words. He's got a way with words.
2016 campaign, you called the Middle East a quagmire. What makes you so sure this won't become a quagmire?
The Middle East is a fucking quagmire. It always is. This is what there's a reason that no president in 47 years has wanted to deal with this shit show. It's a bunch of fucking children that cannot listen to anyone. They have been running rampant for years, tens of years, dozens of years, whatever you want to call it. Nobody wanted to deal with this shit. Trump does the thing that no other president wants to do. And to be fair, he's kind of stepped in it in a lot of ways. He's dealing with Israel right now. Listen, him and Netanyahu are not getting along. I don't care what Trump says publicly. Him and Netanyahu are not getting along. I believe he's sick and tired of Netanyahu's shit. Okay, I really do. I think he's sick and tired of Netanyahu, and we're gonna find out about that in the near future, I think. But I think he's sick and tired of his shit.
I'll be there.
You're convinced this won't become a quagmire?
It's not a quagmire. I just wiped out the military of a very dangerous country. And I wiped out the nuclear threat. Let me tell you, if we left tomorrow, if we just said, all right, let's get out, it'll take them 15 or 20 years to rebuild back. but I'm not going to give them even that chance. I'm not going to give them that chance. They cannot have a nuclear weapon. And if there was even a 1% chance that they'd have it, I wouldn't leave. We're almost finished. We're going to either have a deal, a strong deal, a meaningful deal, not like the Obama thing. Obama was a path to a nuclear weapon. Mine is the exact opposite.
And
mine is a wall. It's a wall, just like I built 1,000 miles of wall on our southern border. And by the way, I took the worst border in history and I made it the best border in history in a matter of weeks.
And yet, Mr. President, Iran was the closest to developing weapons-grade uranium after you ripped up the nuclear deal because there were no guardrails in place.
They were developing it during the nuclear deal.
Right.
You don't know that? Iran, when Obama signed that stupid deal where he paid them billions and billions of dollars, he thought he could bribe them. Listen to me. They were developing a nuclear weapon. That's how they got there. They got all of this uranium during Obama. You know that, don't you? Well, that's how they got there. Don't say this. They got there. They developed it during the Barack Hussein Obama, during his administration.
And they've escalated their development after the deal was wrapped up. But let's talk about the economy. I want to talk about the economy.
If I didn't go in there with the B-2 bombers, they would right now have a nuclear weapon, and it could be that half of the world would be eradicated.
Let me ask you about the economy. You got a strong jobs report today that beat expectations.
Not strong. Really strong.
Beat expectations.
Not strong, really strong.
Now have a nuclear weapon, and it could be that half of the world would be eradicated.
Let me ask you about the economy. You got a strong jobs report today that beat expectations.
Not strong. Really strong.
Beat expectations.
By how much? Triple.
172,000 jobs created. And yet, gas is up, diesel is up.
It's all coming down as soon as the war's over.
Well, 70% of farmers say they can't afford fertilizer. What's your message?
The farmers are doing very well.
Let me ask you, what is your message to farmers, many who support you, but who say they're struggling? Who say they're struggling?
Because there's nobody been better to farm. Do you know I gave farmers last term $28 billion because China took advantage and other people. And you know who paid for it? China. Last term. You know, I had a great first term. I had the greatest economy ever. And you know what? This one's blowing it away.
What's your message to farmers, though, Mr. President, who say they are struggling? They're struggling to make ends meet.
Are you ready? Am I allowed to talk? You keep asking questions and you don't listen to the answer.
You can tell he's getting pissed. That's the same thing he did to Caitlin Collins of CNN. That's the same thing. You can tell he's starting to get pissed off because now we are around 11 minutes away. So he's starting to get fired up.
Farmers, though, Mr. President, who say they are struggling. They're struggling to make ends meet.
Are you ready? Am I allowed to talk? You keep asking questions and you don't listen to the answers. I love the farmers and the farmers love me and the farmers trust me. In the first term, I had something very similar. China and others and Canada, which was brutal, they were taking advantage of our farmers. They don't take advantage of it anymore. I gave them $28 billion split up. They never had a payday like that. And the farmers loved me, and they came back and they voted for me in record numbers. You know that nobody's ever even come close. Now, because of the fact that we had a choice, I had a choice to make. I could keep it going. The farmers were doing great. Fertilizer was very cheap. Everything was cheap. Gasoline was very low. Everything was very low. I could have kept it that way, but I said I have to take a little bit of a turn. The farmers are going to understand it better than anybody. We're going to have higher gasoline. We're going to have a little higher fertilizer, et cetera, et cetera. But I'm going to get rid of a nuclear weapon in the hands of very dangerous people. Excuse me, wait. It should have been done for 47 years. No president had the guts to do it. I did it, and I've done it. It's almost complete. As soon as that's complete, gasoline prices are going to drop like a rock. You know, I was in Iowa speaking about farms, and it was before we attacked Iran. And I was in Iowa, and the prices were $1.85 a gallon. $1.91 a gallon. What?
This time, it wasn't the rain, but an audio issue that forced us to pause the interview again.
Boy,
our gas.
He gets so mad at audio issues.
prices were $1.85 a gallon, $1.91 a gallon. What?
This time, it wasn't the rain, but an audio issue that forced us to pause the interview again. Are gas prices going higher, or have they?
Why don't we get to hear what he says? I want to hear what Trump says right here. Watch.
That forced us to pause the interview again. Are
I want to know what he said right there.
gas prices going higher, or have they peaked?
They're going to come low, very low. They're going to go lower than they were before.
Have they peaked?
As soon, well, it depends. I mean, it depends where the war goes.
Toadster says, Trump would love F&T and the perfect audio that it has. Mark of Reality says that she changed the subject to shut him down. Trump too has cheaper gas than Biden did. So why did gas prices go up when Russia left the market? And then you also said fake audio issues from her. I saw you said that, Mark of Reality.
It could be I'll have to give them a shot, and it could be we'll sign an agreement. If we sign an agreement, it'll go down now. Otherwise, it'll go down after we're finished.
You have a new Fed chair, Kevin Warsh.
Yeah.
His first meeting in the role is later this month. After this month's jobs report, economists now say it's possible the Fed may have to raise rates. Do you think that's possible? And what would your reaction be, sir?
So I'm of a different feeling. I think Kevin's fantastic, and I want him to do whatever he wants. I don't want to have a big influence on him. But we had a great report. We're doing great. And it's unfair that whenever you do great, they want to raise interest rates. It should be the opposite way. You know, if you go back 15 or 20 years, when you had good reports, the market went up. Nowadays, when you have good reports, the market goes down because they think they're going to raise interest rates. There's no reason to raise interest rates. The country becomes great. We built the country by doing great and having rates low. What they do is when they raise interest rates, they try and kill success. I don't want to kill success. We should actually lower interest rates. Now, if inflation comes, and you know, people live with inflation, but if inflation comes, what happens is you stamp it out. But success can kill inflation, just like higher interest rates. What they do now is, like, we had great job numbers. You agree, right?
They beat expectations.
Not expectations, like 3 times. Okay, but you ready? What do? They say, oh, let's raise interest rates. It's the wrong thing to do. I would like to see rates get lower, because we could build this into the greatest machine that the world has ever seen. But you can't do that when everybody immediately raises interest rates. So we had great job numbers. We're doing great. You know, we're building more factories. We have more money coming into our country right now from other countries and people than ever before. Wait a minute. What happens? I don't want to just kill it with high interest rates. Growth is the greatest.
Dude, this has got to be one of Trump's best interviews, just because the rain and her freaking out every time it rains, and he's just continuing to power through. He's not fazed by anything. Then they have audio issues. He keeps getting interrupted. She keeps wanting to pause the interview. This is the president of the United States. He's kind of busy, and you're acting like he's got time for you to pause your interview. And he's like, we'll just power through. He keeps telling her to shut up like a silly woman. And yeah, this is peak right here.
Now from other countries and people than ever before. Wait a minute. What happens? I don't want to just kill it with high interest rates. Growth is the greatest thing you can have, and growth does not cause inflation.
Would you be upset if they raised rates? What is your message to them about that?
Living with Kevin, I have a lot of respect for him, but my feeling is that when a country is doing well, they shouldn't be penalized by immediately raising interest rates. They should actually be incentivized. You know, we have debt, we have other things, we have things we want to take care of. I want to go bigger on the military, I really do. If we do what I'm saying, this will be a beautiful, well-oiled machine like you've never seen before.
And when we come back, President Trump defends his controversial plan that could give payouts to January 6th rioters.
Why is it controversial? Why are you already framing it as controversial? Define what controversial means, please. I would love for her to define what that means, because you are trying to build a narrative that is controversial for your audience to go, ooh, define what controversial means, because somebody doesn't like it. So are you going to tell me that there's something that just has universal praise? Everything Biden did wasn't considered controversial because no one disagreed with it. What the fuck are we talking about here? Go fuck yourself with your bullshit. We know exactly what that's all about.
This 1.8 billion so-called anti-weaponization fund, it was going to compensate people who say the federal government weaponized the legal system against them. It's been blocked by the courts, met with opposition from Republicans
and Democrats
in Congress and Democrats.
Excuse me, mostly Democrats.
Mostly
some
Democrats and some Republicans.
Some, very few Republicans.
Just to be very clear, are you backing off the fund completely, as your acting Attorney General Todd Blanche has said, or are you looking for another avenue to revive
So
the
let me
fund?
explain what the fund is. People have been hurt so badly by radical left lunatics that worked for the Biden administration and Sleepy Joe. They're vicious, they're violent, what they did to people. And of course, they went after me more than anybody else. They raided Mar-a-Lago and all the other things. But people have been badly hurt. They've committed suicide. They've lost their jobs. They've lost their families. They've lost their wives. They've lost everything. They've lost everything over a fake weaponization of government. Now,
So
let
are
me
you
just tell
looking
you.
for a way to revive it?
Well, look, if it was up to me, I'd pay them the kind of money that they deserve. People have been destroyed. Lives have been destroyed. Many suicides. Think of it. People have committed suicide because a bunch of thugs went after them.
You don't-
So, me personally, I think the weaponization fund is a great idea. And so do many other Republicans. You have to get it approved. If they get it approved, that's great. If they don't get it approved, I'd be disappointed.
All right, we're going to motor through this.
But you have to understand, people have been destroyed by crooked politicians, and they should be reimbursed for that.
Do you think anyone who attacked police officers on January 6th should get taxpayer money?
I wouldn't be inclined to say so, but I have to see it. I can tell you this, 97% of those people, you look at them, the FBI or whoever it was, because you had a lot of crooked cops, you had dirty cops. Comey was a dirty cop.
Well,
A
there's
guy
no
like
evidence
Bolton was a dirty
But
cop.
there's no evidence.
Wait a minute,
that people
minute.
Who,
Oh,
we
you
have
think Comey was a
170
straight
people
cop?
who pleaded guilty to assaulting police
Comey
officers.
was a dirty cop.
No, but
They
the
had
people who
FBI
assaulted police
listen to
officers.
me. They had FBI agents ushering them into the building. They had FBI go into the building. Those people walking around, they're looking, oh, isn't this nice? They weren't in. They were
There's
being
no
ushered
evidence
into
of
the
that,
building.
sir. There's no evidence
You
of
had
that.
a bunch of dirty
Oh,
cops. And
God.
frankly, what they did was weaponization of our government.
But sir, there's no evidence of that. More than 1,000
No,
people.
well, yeah, no,
pleaded
there's
Oh,
no-
he's
you
getting
know what I do?
pissed. He getting
Try
pissed.
looking at the tapes one time.
Would you take it off
Look
the
at
table?
the tapes
Okay,
one time.
but 172 people did plead guilty to assaulting police officers.
You know why they pled
Should
guilty?
they be exempt?
Because they told they
from
were going to
receiving
jail
funds?
for 15 years
Yep.
if they didn't.
Yep.
Should
They
they?
pled guilty because they were frightened. They went down. They were ushered into a building. Many of them were arrested without even going
You'd be
into the
okay
building.
with them receiving taxpayer dollars?
The people were destroyed by dirty cops and by weaponization. Many of those people should be compensated. Now, with that being said, as I understand it, the weaponization fund was going to set up a group of people, people that could be picked by anybody, fair people, smart people, and they will go on an individual case basis.
Okay.
Now, I don't know what's going to happen with the weaponization fund. I love the idea because people like you, the fake, dirty press, the crooked press, people like stupid Biden, he's not smart enough to know what's going on, but people that surrounded him, surrounded his beautiful, resolute desk in the Oval Office, what they did to the lives of people, they destroyed people. They sent people to jail who did nothing
All
wrong.
right, just to be very clear, there's no evidence of what you're saying. But let
There's
me
a
ask
lot
you
of
about
evidence.
Todd Blanche.
Whoa.
Let me ask you about
Listen
Todd
to me.
Blanche.
Listen to me.
Whoa.
Let's talk
There's
about Todd
tremendous evidence. There's
Blanche.
nothing
What's
but
not been
evidence. The
presented
election
in a
was
court of
rigged.
law.
It was a dirty election.
Mr.
And it's
President,
happening again right now
You've
in
never
California.
presented evidence
It's happening
that the
right
2020
now in
election
California.
was rigged.
Right now, it's look at what's
Where's
happening
the
in
evidence
California.
to that?
It's
The
4
Republicans are
days.
doing well in
In
California.
California, it's no, they're not. They're dropping fast because it's a rigged election. Let me tell you, it's 4 days, and they aren't even close to coming up with.
That's how they count
You know
the
why
votes
they're
in
doing that? Because
California.
they're cheating on the election.
What do you have evidence
They're-
to support
All I have
that?
to do is look. All I have to
But
do is look.
that's not
And I
evidence.
listen. And I listen to people. And let's see what happens.
But sir, that's not evidence.
Do you think
and
it's appropriate
That's how they
that they
count the votes in
Do you
California.
think it's appropriate that they have an election and 5 days later they're nowhere close to picking a
State
winner?
and local officials
he's
acknowledge
pissed.
they are slow. They're urging.
No, they're crooked.
They're urging the
crooked.
votes to be counted quickly. That's how they vote
They're
in
crooked,
California.
just like you're crooked. Your press is crooked, and Meet the Press is crooked.
To be fair, I'm not crooked, but let's
Really?
Let's
Well, you
continue.
play right into their hands. Then.
Let's continue.
You're either crooked or you're stupid.
Let's
You play
continue.
right into their hands with this crap. You know that these elections are rigged. Your network knows that they're rigged. You know that I won an election in a landslide, and I got 94% bad press.
But Mr. President,
You know why I
you've
got
never
that?
presented
Because you have no
evidence.
credibility.
But you've never presented evidence that it was rigged. Let's keep talking about. I want to talk about Todd.
You have
Blanche.
more evidence. There's more evidence than ever presented.
Let's talk
Your
about.
elections
You
in
went
this
to
country, we're
court.
like a third world country.
But, sir-
Your elections are crooked, and you're crooked, and
But,
Meet
Mr.
the Press is crooked,
Mr.
and so
President-
is ABC and CBS and
Yes.
CNN.
But Mr.
You're
President,
one-sided crooked networks. Right, let's call it quits because I've had enough. Thank you.
Yeah.
Mr. President, let's please. I traveled all the way to Wisconsin.
I've
I
sat in the
traveled
rain
all.
with you.
I know. I
I've sat in the
traveled
rain
all the
with
way
you
to
for an hour,
Wisconsin.
on and off in the rain, and I've given you enough time. You ought to straighten out your press because you know what?
Mr.
A
President,
country can never be
we
great
traveled
with a
all,
dishonest
listen,
press.
we
Come on, let's
traveled
go.
all the way to Wisconsin for this interview.
Stepped on the mic. Stepped on the mic right here. Fuck your mic, as Salty said.
We traveled all the way to Wisconsin for this interview.
Oh, love it. I freaking love it. Trump is the GOAT.
I spoke with President Trump on Saturday, and we both acknowledged the complications during the interview posed by the rain. He agreed to sit down with me for another Meet the Press interview.
We thank you for
Trump's going to destroy her again. He's going to destroy her again. Trump he is the master of this because now everybody is going to be tuned in to the follow-up. Everybody is going to be tuned in, and he is going to annihilate her. Oh my goodness. That's Trump, man. The greatest showman in the world. Nobody's better. Nobody's better. That was crazy. That was crazy though. And it was good to get the whole interview, to get the whole interview perspective, because just kind of seeing how it built up. Because obviously we've seen the clip online that's going mega viral, but seeing the whole interview, getting the full context, seeing how the rain and how he kept wanting to power through and she kept wanting to pause, and he's like, no, we'll just power through. He kept telling her to wait, quiet. No, hold on. Just like any man has to deal with a woman, you're always having to go, hold on, calm down, wait, let me explain. Stop getting emotional. Stop losing your mind. Just wait. Okay. So there it is, man. Good stuff right there. Let's see. Jim the Reaper says 307,216 people in California, zero business voting. Katie Porter, Jim the Reaper, thank you. Ruby with the gifted membership, thank you. There's Mellow Yellow's $50 super chat, thank you. Phil says that this is a test to see if super chat works for me. It does, but you should everybody in the chat should probably test to see if super chats work. Again, I just think it's important, not for my benefit. I'm just trying to make sure everybody has the ability in case you want to. It's really, but it's up to you. I'm just trying to help everybody in the chat out. So, Narco for 20 says, shut up, silly woman. Tax, by the way. Shut up, silly woman. Tax. It's all coming apart for the left now. All the BS is being put in the light, and all they can do is deny, distract, defend from the financial voter fraud and the clear anti-American take Dems have 100%. Thank you, Narco. Jeremy the Cyborg for 50 says, would love if you played my memorial to those lost to illegal immigration, a song I wrote, AI produced, then built the video for. It's a heart wrencher. Well, I have to pre-screen all AI stuff right now because YouTube's is funny because anything AI, got to pre-screen it because YouTube's AI is so retarded. However, if the mods want to get a link to that, they can link it in the chat right now. And so, Eric, I don't know if you can track that down from Jeremy the Cyborg. And you guys can link that in the chat. And maybe in a later date we can. But yeah, just because like Gary got hit for the Black Snape AI video that took his stream down. Crazy. It's absolutely insane. So yeah, we just got to be careful. So no more DJ JD Advance. I said, no, we got to pre-screen it first to make sure there's nothing that's going to trigger their crazy AI. Grapdar's Hammer for 20 says, Trump, get out of there and go get Culver's. Spare yourself. Culver's is the GOAT. It's kind of, okay, again, In-N-Out is close, but Culver's is still the GOAT. It just is. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Alan Tanassi says, I'm always watching. I don't super chat as often as I used to back in the old days, but when I do, you know, things are going good. Tagging you now. I will check it out, Alan Tanassi. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. Anthony Gaming says, I don't know about Xbox, about Showcase. I thought it was all right. I don't know much about it. Is that what you're trying to say? I barely kept up with Xbox's Showcase. However, Tuesday night's main event, we're going to discuss the Xbox Showcase, the PlayStation State of Play, and the Nintendo Direct that is rumored to be for Tuesday. There's a lot of gaming news to talk about, so we will. Speed Force says, I can't post member emojis in chat. You're not a member anymore? Is that why? Jeremy and Eric talking in the chat. Good stuff. Okay. Maybe some gifties will start flying for you, Speed Force. Darth Manic says, looking sexy, Jeremy. Keep it up. If this would have been a 50, it wouldn't have been that uncomfortable, but since it's a 5, I'm very uncomfortable. Oh, you're still a member and you can't post member emojis? What's up with that? That's weird. Lapco says, I want to send bigger super chats, but I'm a little short. Can you spot me a few grand so I can send you a $50 super chat? You seem awfully helpful. Can somebody send a 50 and just say Lapco 92 in it? Like that way Lapco 92 is covered. I'm just trying to help you out, brother. Okay. I'm trying to help you out. Let's see. Mod Eric says, Jeremy got excited. He thought it was raining men. Speed Racer says, FYI, the Peanut Butter Falcon is free on YouTube. I didn't know that. Chat. The Peanut Butter Falcon is free on YouTube. I talked about this movie the other night on CobraCast. If you have not seen it, you should. And it's free on YouTube. So there you have it. So you can't send emojis either. What the hell? That is weird. Gary, are you still here? Or Eric, did you see any issues with Ryan's stream or Gary's stream with member emojis? You can't use them? That's crazy. Reload YouTube, says Liberty Prime. It says rent or buy. So is it not free? Huh. That's weird. Okay, some people are. Some people are. Shred Bear says, appreciate you. Well, I appreciate you. Thank you for the $10 super chat. I appreciate that. Thank you. Not free for me. Well, where are you at? Are you in Australia? Maybe if it's free in Australia then. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's free for you. They are working now. I do see them. Okay. And there's the link for Jeremy the Cyborg's video right there. Mod Eric has dropped it. There we go. Luis says, it's a lot of rain, not a little rain. Fake news lies to you in your face. Smash JT says, cheers, Jeremy. Thank you so much for all you do, brother. Have a great rest of your weekend. Look at that, man. Smash JT. Good people right there. Mark Raleigh says, why don't they cover her face? Sheesh, could you blur her face out? Hazmat says, hey, Jeremy, I live in California, and it's a fucking travesty what they have done to my beautiful state's voting system. It really is, man. It really is. It's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. SCJC says, number one thing I'll never forget from being while Sleepy Joe was the Resident Evil chief, having to sit in a 4-hour training where watching Secretary of Defense call us extremists. Did I say Resident Evil? Resident in Chief. I'm seeing people talk about video games right now. Somebody mentioned Code Veronica. I said Resident Evil in Chief. This is what happens when you cover so much shit. I'm blending politics into video games now because I'm excited about Code Veronica being announced. Back up. Number one thing I'll never forget from being in while Sleepy Joe was the Resident in Chief having to sit in a 4-hour training where watching Secretary of Defense call us extremists because we voted for Donald J. Trump. Jeremy's losing his mind. Jeremy talks about too much random shit on the internet, and sometimes I cross the streams. Let's see here. But anyway, thank you for this. Appreciate you. Appreciate you right back. Thank you. John Phillips says, emergency super chat test stream. This is crucial. This is crucial. We need to test it out. John freaking Murdoch takes Sundays off. Okay. So we have to test things out for Monday when he returns. Okay. We also haven't seen Scully. We haven't seen Zwanny. So we have to check to make sure. Nandy hasn't been here. You know, JMNZZ for 50 hasn't been here. So we got to test things out for Monday. I'm just trying to help out. That's all I'm trying to do. Okay. So I'm a nice guy. Okay. Delone is here. Says never cross the stream. If you know, you know. What up, Delona? Lord Botho says, I would trust her to make a curry. Mudkip says, hail Cornboy and his Mario Kart stream live now. Let's go, Cornboy. Solo Felix says, did you see Razor Fist interview with John Schaefer? I did not. Packet Proton says, are we merging our military with Israel? If so, why? Alan Tenaz says, shout out to to the fellow J6ers, some of who I know personally serve time. They should all get paid. They absolutely should. Mellow Yellow says, that, thank you. Mellow Yellow is insulting the chat with a super chat, which I approve of. Okay. Thank you, Mellow Yellow. Well, whatever for 5 says Rumble rants work. Look at that. Kick chat ain't been too nice tonight, but that's okay. We're not going to go full DSP or anything like that. Okay, let's talk about some other stuff that's going on really quickly because there is a lot more going on, not just a Trump interview. So earlier today, we got reports that Iranian strikes on Israel and President Trump did respond. You've shot your missiles. That's enough. Get back to the table and make a deal. This is what President Trump had to say in response to Iran launching missiles over Israel.
Launching missiles toward Israel right now. Trey Yingst is on the breaking developments. He is in Tel Aviv. Trey.
Yeah, John, good afternoon. Iran has launched at least 4 waves of missiles at Israel in response to those IDF strikes against the Lebanese capital of Beirut earlier today. I just got off the phone with President Trump, who is following the developing situation across the region. He told me what I would suggest to Iran. You've shot your missiles. That's enough. Get back to the table and make a deal. The president once again calling for a negotiated settlement. He also spoke about the ongoing negotiations with Iran, saying we are very close. I would say an agreement would be signed on Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday of this coming week. And now this takes place. And so the president will get briefed on what is happening right now, this ongoing Iranian ballistic missile attack against Israel. But I asked him about those initial IDF strikes that took place earlier today. He told me they were not coordinated with the United States. And I asked him for reaction to the Israeli strikes against Hezbollah in Beirut. And President Trump said, I'm not happy about it. Now, more broadly, he said that the ongoing Iranian missile fire toward Israel at this moment certainly is not going to help the negotiations. But again, he is calling on the Iranians to stop firing these missiles and get back to the negotiating table to ultimately reach a settlement. The president talked about the power of the U.S. military.
He's the father of a bunch of spoiled brats, is what Trump is. That is where he's at. Now you have people like Mark Levin, who says, why are we turning on Israel and Netanyahu tonight? Wow. Mark Levin is the equivalent of the anti-Israel crowd on the opposite side, because you have the anti-Israel crowd that are just like, everything is Israel's fault. Every problem in my life is Israel's fault. Everything that's ever happened to me, it's all because of Israel. Mark Levin is the complete opposite of that, where he just thinks that Israel is the greatest thing that's ever happened, and they are responsible for every positive thing that has ever happened. He is the exact thing, just on the complete opposite side. He's a lunatic. Ben Shapiro's a lunatic. Dave Rubin's a lunatic on that side. And so, we're getting to see all of this play out. All right, here we go. This is about 5 hours ago. So we're a little, behind on some of this stuff, but
in Israel, and I'm just turning around, there are still alerts coming out from Israel's Home Front Command at this moment. But we are getting a new statement, John, right now. I just want to read it to you from Iran's Revolutionary Guard Corps that said their attacks on Israel this evening were a, quote, warning of broader response that would encompass all U.S. and Israeli targets in the region if aggressions are repeated. And a senior Iranian official speaking to Reuters says all U.S. bases in the region will be considered legitimate targets for Tehran if Israel attacks. So again, following 4 waves of Iranian ballistic missiles that targeted Israel's third largest city of Haifa and nearly the entirety of this country, the region is bracing to see if Israel will respond. This was a significant attack against the civilian population of Israel, John.
I mean, to me, do you know what Israel is to the world of politics? They're the Dallas Cowboys. Completely overhyped and overrated by the people that love them, and completely overhyped and overrated by the people that love them or hate them. That's Israel's the Dallas Cowboys of politics. That's exactly who Israel is. And I've always been whatever about the Cowboys. I don't have a strong opinion on the Cowboys positively. I don't have a strong opinion of them negatively. And so, wait, Jeremy, you said overrated doesn't exist. I said overrated and underrated exist in sports. It always has. I've always argued that. Overrated and underrated as a sports term, that's what it is. Because there's actual statistics that you can use to back up the overrated and underrated argument. But when you say a movie is overrated, you're essentially just saying too many people like the movie. I think that using overrated for subjective opinions is retarded. But overrated, underrated applies to sports debates and sports arguments. Always has. Now, going back to the Dallas Cowboys, yes, that's the Israel. And Jerry Jones is the Netanyahu of NFL owners. It makes perfect sense. It makes so much sense. Oh, it's so good. Jerry Jones is a Netanyahu. It's perfect. It's perfect. Yes. I love this shit so much. I love it. This is working good. Okay, here we go. President Trump is calling Netanyahu and telling him to not strike back against Iran per Axios.
On launching missiles toward Israel right now. Trey Yingst is on the breaking developments. He is in Tel Aviv. Trey.
Who are the cheerleaders? That would be Ben Shapiro, Dave Rubin, and Mark Levin. And at least one of them sucks a lot of dick. I'm not going to tell you which one, but I think you already know.
Yeah, John, good afternoon. Iran has launched at least 4 waves of missiles at Israel in response to those IDF strikes against the Lebanese capital of Beirut earlier today. I just got off the phone with President Trump, who is following the developing situation across the region. He told me what I would suggest to Iran. You've shot your missiles. That's enough. Get back to the table and make a deal. The president once again calling for a negotiated settlement. He also spoke about the ongoing negotiations with Iran, saying we are very close. I would say an agreement would be signed on Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday of this coming week. And now this takes place. And so the president will get briefed on what is happening right now, this ongoing Iranian ballistic missile attack against Israel. But I asked him about those initial IDF strikes that took place earlier today. He told me they were not coordinated with the United States. And I asked him for reaction to the Israeli strikes against Hezbollah in Beirut.
So we're just kind of going over some of these clips right here. President Trump just said Israel better not strike back against Iran or the peace deal is screwed. He tells Axios if Bibi strikes them back, it's just going to keep going like the last 47 years or the last 3,000 years. The Iranian strikes on Israel didn't hurt anybody. Hopefully, Israel is not going to retaliate. We are very close to a final deal with Iran. It is going to be a good deal. I don't want to blow it up because of what is happening. 47 is calling Netanyahu saying, don't strike. President Trump says U.S. military is now on high alert after Iran struck Israeli in 4 ballistic missile waves. Israel is meeting right now to decide if they will respond and how. Trump does not want Israel to fire back. President Trump is in New Jersey and is now holding consultation with his security team, deciding the next steps following Iran's ballistic missile attack on Israel. Trump just spoke with Netflix Yahoo. 47 originally said the deal was within reach, possibly by the middle of this week. Utter chaos is breaking out. Now it's going to be up to Israel if they listen to Trump or attack and bet on diplomacy failing.
Holding consultation, and now this, and he is holding consultations with his security team. I am told.
Gar Bear 199 says, never ceases to amaze me that Jeremy cannot read. Well, you could have said can't read, but you said cannot read. So go fuck yourself.
By a senior U.S. official. And I asked the president about the Israeli strike on Hezbollah in Beirut earlier today. He told me that was not coordinated with the United States and that he is not happy about it. The region.
Like, who says cannot? Like, what do you like? Do you hold your pinky out when you say that? Cannot read. He cannot read. Who the fuck talks like that? Just say can't like a normal person. No one says cannot. He cannot read while I'm holding my latte, laughing. Cannot.
Is now waiting to see if the Israelis will respond to these waves of ballistic missiles that targeted their northern cities, including the 3rd largest Israeli city of Haifa. But what we saw earlier today, an effort by the Israeli air defense systems to shoot down the incoming fire. Tonight, we can report that Iran's foreign minister is speaking with regional counterparts about the situation right now. And the IDF spokesperson released a TV statement earlier today indicating.
Yeah, like, come on, man. Like, okay, just to be clear. Okay. Famous philosopher. The famous philosopher who had a statue built. Okay. Who also had a golden casket for his untimely death. Famous philosopher George Floyd. He didn't say, I cannot breathe. He said, I can't breathe. Okay? He didn't say, I cannot breathe. He said, I can't breathe, brother.
That schools across Israel tomorrow will be closed. He said Iran is trying to create a new equation when it conducts direct fire on our territory. In response, the IDF will attack in relation to the current security protocol. And so, again, this is a political decision ultimately that will be made by Israel in terms of whether or not there will be a response. But the latest information that we have, 4 waves of Iranian ballistic missiles targeted Israel tonight in response to the IDF strikes on Hezbollah in southern Beirut earlier today. President Trump telling Fox News that he has a message for Iran. He says, you've shot your missiles. That's enough. Get back to the table and make a deal.
Now, again, a lot of this, and thank you guys for the back and forth. Garbear, hell to you. So, again, a lot of this was several hours ago. This was 4 hours ago. I don't know if we have any. I'm sure there are updates. Some of you are probably aware of some of these updates. I'm not. I'm still looking to see if there is Let's see. Trump says Netanyahu won't have any choice but to accept a U.S.-Iran deal, declaring, I call all the shots. That's my president right there. Trump just saying it like it is. I call all the shots. That's the man. And here it is right here. President Trump says he calls all the shots, not Israel. I decide everything. He doesn't decide. Netanyahu will have no choice but to accept an Iran deal. I call the shots. I call all the shots. Bibi does not. 47 is now holding discussions with his team while in New Jersey per Fox and originally hoped for a peace deal this week. The region is now waiting to see if Israel responds to these wave of ballistic missiles. There you have it right there. Trying to see. Heard something outside. Making sure. Is it weather? I don't know what the hell that is. Anyway, okay, we're good. But now the anti-Israel crowd probably not very happy about this. Now the anti-Israel crowd is probably like, well, hold on just a minute. This is exactly what Israel told Trump to say so that you would think that Trump was in charge, okay? That's it. So Israel is actually telling Trump to say this so that you won't think that Israel's in charge, okay? That's where we're at with this. So they're actually saying, hey, Trump, you need to tell everyone that you decide so that they won't know that we decide. Pretty smart on their end, I got to be honest. Pretty smart. Now you got everybody posting it. President Trump, Netanyahu will have no choice but to accept an Iran deal. I call the shots. I call all the shots. Bibi does not. What a creepy piece of shit. Like, look at, I've said it 1,000 times. I will say it again. He's the mall kiosk guy of world leaders. What do I mean by that? How many of you have ever been to the mall? You're walking and all of a sudden the mall kiosk guy makes eye contact with you. You're like, oh, fuck, he's got me in his laser beams and you can't get away. Once he's made eye contact, it's over. And suddenly he's going to sell you some shit. And you're like, no. And he's like, no, let me show you this. Let me show you. It's like, yep. Mall kiosk guy of world leaders right there. And this is the look that mall kiosk guy gives you, where he's like, you like these cell phone cases there, buddy? Like, no, I don't want your cell phone case. I don't want a back rub. I don't want anything to do with anything you're selling. Mall kiosk aura, bro. Yes, 100%. More like tractor beam eyes. Okay, let me catch up. Where are we at here? Twisted Clown says, Chef Trump, let's freaking go. Grab Our Hammer says, Sean Connery, sometimes you have to give them a little slap. McIver says, this is a test for $2. Thank you. Bubba Doom says, Griff test. This is a $100 super chat. I don't believe you. VJ the Vigilant says, this is just a test. So here goes. Gay. Sparky says that testing 1 2 3 4. Dr. Down says Fortnite stream. Need to watch y'all losing again. Bro, we won like the first 5 matches last night, okay? We won the first 5 or was it 4? Maybe it was 4 and then we lost, we finished second and then we won again. So the first, maybe it was 5 out of 6. We were crushing. Commodore fan says, Freddy's Steak Burger is the best chain burger in my area here in South Carolina. The rewards program is really good. I like Freddy's Burgers is really good. I've only had it a few times, but I have definitely liked it. It to me is not on the level of Culver's, but nothing is. But Freddy's is very good. I will say it's a very good burger. Movie Erotic says, control Trump so good. Israel controls Trump so good. He tells them what to do. Soundwave Superior says, Halo on PlayStation tax. Has that? Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, the fact that that was even announced back in the day was crazy. Daniel says Israel allegedly just bombed Iran. Like, did it just happen? Do we have any updates? Trump's going to be so pissed if that happened. He's going to be so mad. Let's see here. Do we have confirmation? All right, here we go. Here we go right here. Fire and smoke reported across Iran after Israel launched new strikes, including against the whatever airport. President Trump recently said he was not happy about Israel striking Hezbollah in Beirut and did not want Israel to launch this attack tonight. Explosions heard across multiple cities. Trump now has some big decisions to make. All eyes on him. It is getting
Military
good.
says its Air Force is striking military targets belonging to the Iranian regime in western and central Iran. This comes hours after Iran launched at least 4 waves of missiles at Israel. It's the first time since an early April ceasefire was implemented. Israel says all missiles were intercepted and is now vowing to deliver a powerful response. Tehran claims the attack was in retaliation for Israel's deadly strike on Beirut on Sunday, and Israel insists it is going after Hezbollah in Lebanon because Iran-backed group keeps firing missiles into northern Israel. So President Trump says Iran strikes are certainly not going to help negotiations on the ending war front. And then he told Tehran to get back to the table and make a deal. The president also says he's not happy about Israel's attack on Beirut, and he was reportedly urging Israel's prime minister not to strike back against Iran, though that appears to not have happened. Again, if you are just now joining us, Israel's military says its Air Force is striking military targets belonging to the Iranian regime. This is in western and central Iran. This comes hours after Iran launched at least 4 waves of missiles at Israel, and it's actually the first time since an early April ceasefire was implemented. For more on all this, we're going to bring in a former...
So that's where we are. That's where we are right now. This is all reporting, and I've seen some other reports. Now, Trump has not said anything on True Social. So we're just going to be on standby waiting for what Trump is going to say. I'm hoping we get another one of the they don't know what the F they're doing, because that's very reminiscent of this. And you all remember that. They don't know what doing. We all remember this moment right here from the great President Trump. And this is what it's like dealing with the Middle East.
Violated the peace agreement, the ceasefire agreement. Do you believe that Iran is still committed to peace?
Yeah, I do. They violated it, but Israel violated it too.
Are you questioning if Israel is committed?
Israel, as soon as we made the deal, they came out and they dropped a load of bombs, the likes of which I'd never seen before. The biggest load that we've seen. I'm not happy with Israel. You know, when I say, okay, now you have 12 hours, you don't go out in the first hour and just drop everything you have on them. So I'm not happy with them. I'm not happy with Iran either. But I'm really unhappy if Israel's going out this morning because the one rocket that didn't land, that was shot, perhaps by mistake, that didn't land. I'm not happy about that. You know what? We basically have 2 countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Do you understand that?
All that time, how that was 11 months ago, and it still applies to this day. It still applies to this moment right here.
Perhaps by mistake that didn't land. I'm not happy about that. You know what? We basically have 2 countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Do you understand that?
So true. And so all this time later, we are back to that bullshit all over again. We live in a simulation. Lapco says, can we get a happy birthday for Clint Eastwood? He's 96 today and announced he's retiring from Hollywood. Clint Eastwood is the definition of a legend in every sense of the word. And the fact that the man has made it to 96 years old, what a life. What a life right there, man. What a legend. 96. That's incredible. By the way, I am caught up on Dutton Ranch. It's getting so good. Now, again, if you have not seen any of the Yellowstone stuff, you don't need to jump into Dutton Ranch. You need to watch Yellowstone so that you can kind of understand what's going on. Even though Yellowstone doesn't end great, it's still worth watching. I think the first 3 seasons of Yellowstone are fantastic. But yeah, obviously, if you're going to watch Dutton Ranch, you need to know what happens in Yellowstone to prep you for this. But yeah, Dutton Ranch is very good. Right now, Dutton Ranch, it's right there with Landman. It's that good. It's that good. So it's really, really awesome. John Jones says, in your defense, the resident in chief was evil. Hey, I like that. I like that. Easy on spoilers, please. No spoilers. No spoilers. Marshals sucked. I watched the first episode of Marshals and I just didn't care to watch it anymore. Maybe I'll watch it when it's done, or maybe it's already done and I'll binge through it, but I don't care about watching that shit. So we'll see. Mellow Yellow, thank you for that 10. Agent M says the former commander-in-chief was Oswell E. Spencer in Resident Evil 5. I didn't play RE5 that much. Speed 4 says it's a bug for phone users, Jeremy. There it is. Okay, well, at least we found out. Speedrunner says, yes, I'm in Australia, enjoying your show every time you come on. Well, thank you. Yeah, that's probably why yours was showing for free in your area, but not for everyone else. Let's see here. Marshall's sucked because Taylor Sheridan isn't involved. Is Taylor Sheridan not involved at all? Really? Like he's not even writing or anything? Lapco says, Iran and Israel are kids in the back seat slapping each other. Don't make Daddy Trump pull this car over. So tired of this crap. Grapthar Summer says, Netflix Yahoo has Zelensky vibes. Pippi Bird says, I just cannot with you, Jeremy. River Miles says, it is really laser beams. What up, River Miles? Good to see you, brother. Daniel says, keep digging a hole, Jeremy. Read the chat. Why would I do that? Dr. Cannot for $1. Where's my Zootopia 3? Says, Israel is hitting Iran right now. Yep, I see that. Minister of Rome thinks says Trump and Bibi are pretending to fight in order to attack key targets while maintaining the ceasefire by scapegoating Israel's disobedience. It's a work. Trump isn't owned by them. It's just the plan. I don't buy that. I appreciate that, but I don't buy that. I think that Netanyahu is a piece of shit. I think Trump realizes that, but he's kind of a necessary evil for Trump to deal with. But that would be my guess. I don't know either way. So, but your theory could be true. It could be true. Rock Bottom says, Netflix Yahoo said, F Trump, I run this show. Lapco says, hey, Jer, once you read this, you will forget you were ever gay. I just freed up the rest of your June. You're welcome. Sorry to, look who's here. Sorry to hurt your fantasies there, Lapco. John freaking Murrow says, hey, Jeremy, I'm still lurking. Listen, I think I super chatted enough yesterday for the next few streams. No? You see that? You see how this works? Manipulating me with a $400 super chat that I asked for. And he thinks I'm going to let him off the hook. The reality of it is John, you never have to super chat me again, and you've already done way too much. Is that the nice way of doing it? That would be the nice way of doing it, right? Either way, John, you know you're good, brother. John takes Sundays off, though. He takes Sundays off. Dude dropped off. Hey, this is what I get for taking a week off. Take a week off, and now John's like, I'm done. I found a better streamer to super chat, so I'm just going to take a few days off. This is why YouTubers can't take days off. You take one day off, and your John freaking Murdoch finds another streamer. It's all good, John. You know that, man. Dr. Kanat says, read super chats. Did enough for 2 years. Did enough for a lot more than 2. Toddy says, she's just an NPC, evidence programmed bot. Dalu says no. Zero says, did you steal Josiah's eyebrows? No, I've always had them, but you can barely see them. By the way, Mo Zamboni. Mo's here. Jeremy just ripped off the end of Batman Begins. Mo, the passable gamer was never that mad at you. I got that confirmed last night. He was never that mad at you. Even though I had to punish you for like 3 months, he was never that mad at you. But I still had to punish you for like 3 months, okay? That's just how it goes. So, Liberty Prime says, silly woman fatigue repealed the 19th. Mike Hill says, Camila Mendez inspired by Daisy Ridley's Ray Palpatine for her Tila. Did she say that? Please don't tell me she said that. Truly Potato says that Gears of War E-Day looks amazing. I just bought the collector's edition. Gears of War is awesome. The Rogue Mustang for 32 months. Thank you. Granola Grin says, if she felt slighted by Trump here, just wait until she has to interview Vance and seethe over. I really don't care. Kristen Delonis has never crossed the streams. Mark of Reality says, BB is part of the worldwide deep state. And M2M says, if Jeremy is going to waste super chat money on watching that stupid 2026 He-Man movie again, then Jerry should have his nose jabbed and his wallet confiscated. Spend your dollars on better entertainment. I was never going to watch He-Man again. I was never going to. But you getting mad at me for even seeing it in the first place was like, well, then I'll go see it again. I was never going to go see it again until you complained about it. That's just how it works. So now, because of the rules that I've created, I have to go watch He-Man again now. I have to. That's the rule. I don't make up the rule. Well, I kind of do make up the rules, but Mo Zamboni says Jeremy is an evil tax. Hey, Man of Steel, you thinking about that amazing movie? Man of Steel is better than Superman 2025. Yeah, 2025. Man of Steel is better than Superman 2025. Is Man of Steel better than Masters of the Universe? Oof. That's a tough one because I'm not the biggest fan of Masters of the Universe. Like it's an okay movie. It's like, is it better though? Because both of these movies have issues. Both of these movies have a significant issue with the main character. Because my issue with Masters of the Universe is the treatment of Adam, He-Man. I'm going to have to think about that one. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's better, Man of Steel or He-Man. I'm not sure. Ray says, I wish I had money like John freaking Murdoch. Don't we all? Johnny the WizKid says, I cannot, Jeremy. I cannot. Thank you, Johnny. Well, whatever says, you're too nice to the mall kiosk guys. Look them in the eye and keep walking. Well, I do now at this point in time. I mean, I'm talking like how I used to be. Like, I'm a complete douchebag now to these people. But like back in the day, I was always like, oh, I should probably, entertain what. No, not anymore. Mo Zamboni says, Man of Steel has a major issue. Master of the Universe has small multiple issues. See, I'm not really worried about the small multiple issues. I think Masters of the Universe has a major issue, which is the treatment of Adam. I think that's a major issue. And I think Man of Steel has major issues as well. So what did I give Man of Steel on Criticlist? Because I gave Masters of the Universe a 55. So let's see what I gave. Let's go to my reviews. Got 50 reviews. So I gave Masters of the Universe a 55. Okay. Where's Man of Steel? Superman 2025, I gave a 30%. That's probably too high. Man of Steel, 50. Okay, so I gave Man of Steel a 50. And I gave He-Man a 55. I got to think about which one of these two movies that I like more. I really don't know. I really don't know. I'll have to think about that one. Dark Red Knight says, I came for the grift and stayed for the retardation. Mod Eric says, this lady almost makes me want Sharia law. She could not speak, work, or be seen in public without her husband or family's permission. Probably equal. Maybe you think so? Probably equal. We'll see. Ooh, yeah. So this is what I think Packing Protons was talking about earlier. 3 people reportedly stabbed at Penn Station in New York City. I'm not going to scroll down because it doesn't look like what it shows is bad. But wait a minute. Now we're getting this right here. Netanyahu pushed back against Trump's call to not respond in Iran attacks, but kind of agreed to stand down. Axios has reported, but now we're getting reports Israel has hit 15 sites, so that's no small retaliation, says Daniel. So I guess he didn't agree. I guess he didn't. Right here. Explosions reported near throughout Tehran, the capital of Iran. So nope, looks like Israel is blowing this whole thing up. Here we go. Jeez, it's absolutely insane. Good Lord. Linko Kenobi. Linko Kenobi 450 says, what's up, Jeremy? Have you watched Among Us animated series? Finished watching it on Paramount Plus. 10 episodes, 13 minutes long. I enjoyed it. Did you check out Gears of War? E-Day looks awesome. Hopefully you guys start a Gears stream, lol. What I miss? Man, you've missed a lot. There's a lot going on right now. I am very excited for a new Gears of War. I haven't seen, I'm going to have to watch this, and we're going to talk a lot about it on Main Event. There's a lot of gaming news to talk about on Main Event, especially with the Nintendo Direct that's going to be dropping reportedly on Tuesday. So we'll see. But thank you, Linko. Hail to you, brother. Lapco says, you better not spend this on gas money to drive over and watch Beardo shower. You hear me? Don't do it. Where's your rules now? The freighter says, I was trying to think of somebody pithy to say, something pithy to say, but it seems I can't. So I'll go ahead and send a pithy tax instead. I appreciate that. Linko says, Xbox Showcase sucked. I'm only interested in Gears. Yeah, I mean, I did see a lot of people. I didn't get a chance to watch the Xbox Showcase. Summer Games Fest was great. But now we got Nintendo. And, of course, Nintendo's probably going to have an awesome Nintendo Direct. So it will be interesting. Okay. I'm looking for more updates as it stands. Let's see here. Dude, I don't know if it's just me. And is it between Twitter's algorithm, and Twitter's algorithm is terrible, by the way. If you click on one thing, it doesn't matter if you've ever clicked on anything remotely close. If you click on one thing, Twitter will then just destroy your algorithm with that thing. And you're like, I don't even want to click on shit anymore. And because of Twitter being so successful now, I feel like YouTube is copying that algorithm. The algorithms are fucking terrible on almost, at least I spend more time on Twitter and, YouTube than anything, but it seems like the YouTube algorithm has gotten terrible as well. I fucking hate it. I'm like, dude, I just wanted to watch this video. I didn't need 9 million of the same exact video now. So now my feed on YouTube is completely fucked. It's completely terrible. It used to be a very good blend of things, and now it's like, I don't even know what the hell. AI is ruining a lot of search functions. Yes, you are correct. You are correct. What is this? What is this? Security camera footage captures the moments a strong shaking hit Davao City after a powerful 7.8 magnitude earthquake struck off the Philippines. I barely see shaking. I barely see some shaking there. However, I did see a building completely collapse. Yeah, right there. Look at this. Oh my God. Whoa. Holy shit. Crazy.
Grabe yung lindol, basag yung SM. Durog. Durog yung SM, durog.
Hello.
Wala, basag yung SM, basag. Durog yung SM.
Damn, man. That's wild stuff right there. Scary. Now I'm going to get nothing but Philippine videos. That's all I'm going to get now. Let's see what the update is with Iran. Okay, the latest we have is this right here. Fire and smoke reported across Iran. It's the latest kind of, we've got a couple other people out there talking about it, but I always like his feed because he has really accurate information. And I'm looking at True Social to see if Donald Trump has said anything, and I've seen nothing from President Trump. Trump hasn't said anything on True Social in a day, which is very rare from him to not talk. Slain Hope says Xbox Showcase rocked. PlayStation slow bros are just salty. I love the console war. I do love the console war. We need the console war to continue. We need more of that. By the way, so I was planning on talking about this before all this stuff with Israel and Iran popped off, but man, Asmongold is finding himself in a lot of like controversy right now. Mainly from his own chat too, by the way. Asmongold, so with the whole story the other day with the YouTuber that I still am not convinced it's a real abortion, but you know, he obviously made those comments that he would do the same thing if he had a Down syndrome, you know, kid, he would get rid of it as well. And then today, Asmongold clashes with his chat after stating he supports abortion at 9 months. What? That is crazy. I think that's a decision that doctors should make. I think that the overwhelming majority of people that would be terminating 9-month-old pregnancies probably are doing so because of some dramatic, unexpected crazy. Like, let's just hear what he has to say. This is crazy.
Do you think terminating a 9-month-old pregnancy should be allowed? Yeah, I do.
What?
The reason why is because I think that's...
Bro put on a rainbow-colored shirt and lost his mind. It just takes one rainbow-colored shirt, and he's lost his mind.
The decision a doctor should make. And yeah, no, I mean, I just, it's a very easy decision. Sickening? Well, let me explain my reasoning. So the reason why I'd be okay with it is because I think that the overwhelming majority of people that would be terminating 9-month-old pregnancies would be people who probably are doing so because of some dramatic, unexpected, crazy change of, like, let's say the kid, for example, has manifested some sort of debilitating illness that makes it, you know, non-viable.
Why is he bringing up the slimmest situation possible? Like, this is very rare that these things, the majority of people that are getting this done, I'm choosing my words carefully because I'm on YouTube. The majority of people that do this evil thing are doing it for their own selfish fucking reasons. Very, 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 statistically speaking, very few of these situations have to do with health. Very, very few. And while I know it's still a divided topic, while people feel very strongly about this, I don't think people are as angry if there's a decision made for a extreme health reason. The problem is that is such a, statistically speaking, that is such a rare occurrence. That has nothing to do with this. Nothing to do with it. This has everything to do with selfish pieces of shit that do this because the child is an inconvenience to them and the life that they want to live.
Right. And I think this happens, right, is that kids manifest illnesses, you know, like very, very early, very late on.
See, the problem with this right now, this is a leftist tactic. This is a 100% a leftist tactic. By finding the most extreme rare case scenario and pretending that that is the predominant reason. This is extremely rare. What he's talking about is incredibly rare. It's also incredibly sad when that situation happens. It is not even remotely close to the majority of these things.
And what, you think that doesn't happen? Like a brain death or something like that? Yeah. Spina bifida? Yeah, exactly. So like just remove it. Septic babies? Yeah. So like in those circumstances, I think that it is the morally correct decision based off of my moral code to abort the baby at 9 months, to spare the baby of a lifetime of suffering and torture.
I love this idea that people that get rid of their babies are doing it for the baby. Do you really fucking believe that? Does anybody fucking believe that? Nobody actually believes that anybody's making that decision because they care about the baby's life. That is such bullshit. The people that are doing this because they're selfish, evil pieces of shit. That's it. I go back to a person I talk about on this channel a lot. Tim Tebow. Tim Tebow's mother was told that she should abort him because it was going to she may not survive the pregnancy. That's what she was told. She decided, I'm going to have my baby. Turned out to be one of the best human beings in our lifetime that we've ever seen. Tim Tebow, a great human being, a wonderful person who's accomplished many things and helped millions of people around the world and is truly a great example for a Christian in this country. But she was told by doctors, if you have this kid, it could kill you. And she chose to have it. Don't give me this crap that the people that do this are doing it for their child. Like, I don't want my child to have problems. You don't want your life inconvenienced. Therefore, you make this decision.
That's my opinion. That's very rare. It is very rare. I don't think that most people are going to be aborting their babies at 9 months. What if it's completely healthy? I think that having some babies be aborted that are completely healthy is a necessary sacrifice, and it's preferable than having a bunch of government oversight.
Bro, that is a absolutely mind-blowing take from him. I can't believe he said that. I can't believe he said that.
Having some babies be aborted that are completely healthy is a necessary sacrifice, and it's preferable than having a bunch of government oversight. So in a perfect world, nobody would ever abort a baby at 9 months. Nobody would ever do that. Complete shit take? Well, no, it's just, this is just the truth. Like you asked me the question, I'm giving you the answer. And this is a decision that everybody makes all the time. The only difference is that I'm okay just verbalizing it. I just simply say it. We all make decisions that have like, for example, everybody who's okay with the First Amendment makes it easier for children to be killed and murdered in schools. I guarantee you that if you went and you did a total police state lockdown and you used the military to remove guns from every single American and you succeeded in doing that, you would reduce the amount of children that are killed by
What
guns.
are you talking about, Asman? What are you talking about? This is what, and again, I'm not saying he's a leftist. I'm not. And I have said this many times, and I will continue to say that Asman has always been someone that I highly respect the fact that he is willing to have incredibly unpopular opinions, even when his chat is going against him. I've always said that. I don't always agree with Asman. I don't always agree with anybody, but Asman specifically, I've had major disagreements with, but I've always appreciated that he's willing to be as honest as possible. This is not honesty. This is evil. What his take is this isn't being honest. This is being like evil. This is an evil take is what this is. Holy shit.
Second? Oh, did I say Second Amendment? Yeah, well, either way, you would do that. But we are allowing children to be killed because we would rather have that freedom. That's exactly what's happening. And you should acknowledge that because it's true. It's completely different. No, it's not. It's not to me.
What I don't like, it's annoying that he's attempting to be incredibly calm, which comes off as condescending right now because we've heard him talk about things before. And this is a very condescending response that he's having. This is I know more than you. Your opinions aren't that important to me. It's okay. No, I'll tell you why you're wrong. Very condescending. Yes, very smug. Yes.
There's no research, no brain take. Well, I mean, again, like if there's a lot of people that are angry about what I'm saying, but there's no real logic to it. It's just an emotional outburst. I mean, I don't take that seriously. It's a goy rage. Here's another example. I can give another one. Is driving. If we reduced the speed limit, right? Like how many fatal crashes? What is the average, speed of a fatal crash? It's probably not 10 miles an hour. So we could theoretically reduce the amount of fatal crashes by like 99% probably if we made the speed limit everywhere that would only go up to 20 miles an hour.
What? No. Again, we're talking about generally speaking with statistics. Okay. Now, is there going to be extreme cases where someone is using a vehicle to try to kill someone? Yes. The heavy majority of car accidents are just that, accidents. The people that are in these accidents and life is lost, no one is getting into the car and saying, my intent is to go out and take another person's life. That's not the intent behind those situations. It's called an accident for a reason. You're talking about something that is premeditated. We're talking about a premeditated decision to take the life of a child at 9 months.
It would dramatically decrease. Dramatically, extremely decrease. You're being twisted? No, I'm not. This is the reality. And these are decisions. Why don't we? Because it's more convenient for us to be able to drive fast.
That has nothing to do with this.
That's the reason why.
What are you talking about?
We regularly sacrifice people's well-being for our own convenience all the time.
We're not sacrificing well-being. We are giving people the ability to murder. That's what they're doing with these kids. What are you talking about? Asman, when someone, oh my God. Asman, when someone has an accident and a life is lost, an investigation happens. If the investigation concludes that the individual that started the accident was actually trying to take someone's life, that person goes to prison, you retard. What the fuck are you talking about? You can't just take vehicles and try to kill people without consequences. Oh my God. What planet is this dude living on right now? Holy shit, this is a wild take.
I have my opinion on it. And also my opinion in general hinges on my expectation that the government will not be able to be agile enough to distinguish whether an abortion is valid or not at a late term abortion. Like, I recognize the reality of that I don't think that it's possible that the government can react to and respond to that quickly enough. And like they will make mistakes. And I think that reality is worse. And the nature of that is worse than having a few kids get killed. Because then you're going to have even more kids get born that should have been killed. That have like some,
dude. Okay. Somebody tell me this is either Asmongold AI that somebody created, or this is happening in June while he's wearing what looks to be a pride shirt. Like, is he trolling? Like, this can't be. This is crazy. This is crazy.
And like they will make mistakes. And I think that reality is worse. And the nature of that is worse than having a few kids get killed. Because then you're going to have even more kids get born that should have been killed, that have like some, debilitating fucking, illness that makes their life a living hell. And their parents as well. And then also the parents, the mothers could die in the process too. And so like, that's just the truth. And I do give like, and I want to say, guys, if you ask me these questions, I will give you an honest answer. I will. And I think that based off of my own reasoning here, you might not like the answer, but I have very consistent answers on these topics. And I think that a lot more people agree with me than they think, but they just are uncomfortable with the way that I state it.
I think that's a massive cope. I think that's a massive cope where you want more people to side with you because so many people are coming at you in your chat. And that's a massive cope. That's insane, dude. And that's not even to like, there's more. There's this account right here. They follow me, but Emerald Apple had a back and forth with Asmongold. Okay. Actually somebody said, now people are saying that Asmongold's rainbow shirt might be the cursed, equating the notorious Sonichu medallion, where anyone that wears it ends up with horrible fate. Since wearing the Pride rainbow shirt, he has become embroiled in several controversies with his pro-abortion takes, aligning with eugenics and supporting a late-term abortion, along with his take on the character Eve in Stellar Blade. So... And this person had a back and forth with him, okay, right here. And it went on, and I'm not going to read the whole thing here, but right here. Okay. Here it is. Asmongold, another Asmongold L, as he doubles down on the anti-logic again. As many have said, this data is actually clear from multiple studies where there is no difference. So this is a whole thing about anime and lolly and all of that crap, which I am not an expert on, whatever. So I'm not going to get into the details of this conversation, especially here on YouTube. But what we're going to talk about here is just this back and forth, okay? So first he responds, says, please provide the data you're referencing, okay? Emerald responds, okay, right here. Asmon responds, okay? They keep going back and forth, and it turns into where Emerald starts to ratio Asmon, okay? That never happens. Asmongold never gets ratioed, ever. And so the fact that Emerald Apple is ratioing him, see, there's his take, 700 likes, 1,700 to the response. And it's just a whole back and forth. Another ratio right here, or close to a ratio. So yeah, man, I don't know what's going on with him, but he's digging a lot of different holes right now. And it doesn't seem to be going very well for him. So There you have it right there. See, there's another one. 800 to 1100. Then a 723 to 1100. When Asman's getting ratioed, that's probably means that he's digging in deep on this topic right here. So right there, he ratioed her, but then she ratioed back, or it, whatever Emerald is. I don't know who the fuck this person is. So he's just got a lot of crazy stuff going on. And I don't know, man. Yeet, put this one out. If you want to go check it out, you can go follow Yeet. But the discussion has been pretty interesting right here. So it's so funny to me how it's only men in these replies. Who are you? Who are you? So yeah, is this like a leftist take where men can't have a take on this? Well, to be fair to this Brittany person, you're actually right, Brittany. You're actually right about that. Men are not allowed to have an opinion on this. Do you know why, Brittany? Do you know why? You've actually brought up an interesting point, because women have more rights in the United States of America than men do. Because women have the right to go and do this horrible thing to their child, and men have no say-so. Because women have more rights in the United States of America than men do. So thank you for bringing up the point and proving the point that women have more rights than men. Even though you play the victim and you claim that women don't have as many rights as men, that's a straight up lie. And the fact is we have the fact. The fact is women have more rights than men. So there you go. That's not Brittany Venti for those. No. We love Brittany Venti. She's great. I would never, ever pick a fight with Brittany Venti. So I would not do that. Not Brittany Venti, chat. Not Brittany Venti. Don't get her mad at me. I don't want her mad at me. All right. Anyway, that's the latest on Asmongold. That's some wild stuff right there. Wild indeed. Flying Dog Face Pony Soldier says Israel could be eliminating the next 25 new IRGC leaders for Trump. I don't know. I guess we'll see. Slaying Hope says Xbox Showcase rocked. Peace. PlayStation slow bros are just salty. Cooper7395 says happy 6-7 day. Jeremy 6-7. East Coast Toast Boy says I was on that stream when he said it. He's pathetic. Talking about Asman? Yikes. Dark Red Knight says he's worn that same shirt for like 6 days in a row now. He's also starting to drink on stream. Like I said the other day, I can't support him anymore. Wait, so he's drinking alcohol? I don't watch Asmongold streams. But so it's like, is he drinking alcohol? Is that what you're saying? Let me see. Dr. Pepper. Okay. The Asmaning. Slaying Hope says Asman would have deleted Ricky Berwick. There you have it right there. That's the truth. I mean, listen, if you want to know my official stance on, abortion, my official stance is that I am against it. But the only exceptions I believe that, like, if life of the mother is within question, I do kind of accept that within reason. That's the only situation, though. That's it. Other than that, I no wiggle room at all. There's no wiggle room beyond life of the mother. If there's a serious situation that's unforeseen, I believe that's a choice that a person should have. I do believe you as a human being, if you are told that your life is in danger and you're told by doctors, I do believe that you have a right as a human being to make that decision. But outside of that, no, I don't believe any exceptions should be brought into play. But that's it. Let's see. What about grape and incest? I mean, listen, if I have an accident in a car and I lose my leg, I don't have the choice to get my leg back. Like, bad things happen and we have to deal with the consequences of the bad things happening. And while that's a terrible situation, first of all, the person that does the crime should be thrown away for the rest of eternity. But I don't think a healthy kid should be killed because a horrible act happened. I just don't. So, it doesn't make it a great situation. It's a horrible situation, and you never want to see that. And I obviously think that the person that's involved in that should be, honestly, if I'm on YouTube, I got to be careful. Let me dance around what I'm going to say. Anybody that essays a woman, I don't even know a careful way to say what I think should happen to this person. So, I want bad things to happen to this person. That's all I can really say. I can't get into too many details, but I have some ideas of what I think should happen to this person. And think about this the best way possible. Now, again, I'm not saying that this is what's going to happen. I'm just giving you Jeremy's view on the world, okay? I believe that if you essay a woman, I believe if you are found guilty of that, I believe that the father/husband of that woman, the brother, any extended family, men that are connected, I believe that they should have the legal right to punish that person and not be held accountable. That's what I believe. I think that's a justified response. And there's no line. You can do whatever you need to do to this piece of shit to get your anger out. That's just my rule, though. That's what I think. But I'm being very careful, very careful right now. The point being is you make a society where you make somebody fear doing that. That's the society you create. You create circumstances where someone says, it's not worth it, because if I get caught, it's going to be over. I like a society that implements that rule. That is if someone does that to a woman, that ruins that woman's life. Like, you're going to traumatize her. She's never going to be able to have a meaningful relationship again. Or if she does, it's going to be difficult. That also makes it difficult on her significant other. It hurts the family. It hurts the child. It hurts everybody involved for the rest of their life. Because of the significance of that, I believe the punishment should fit the crime. So, there you go. Narco says Asman is pikering himself with this take. You all know why I feel that way. I do. I absolutely do. Stone Will says, ring it up, and Asman L with the bells. East Coast Hosted Boy says, there's also a clip that Asman admitted to contributing to his mom's death by not letting docs in the house to help her because she didn't get the jab. There's a video I can send you now if you want. I don't really want to go down that rabbit hole. I mean, you can send me the video, but I'm not going to react to something like that without pre-screening it, because that's an insane accusation that I would never throw against anyone. So I would never want to do that, because Asman is so popular and so well known that he's got extreme haters out there. And so with him being as prominent and as well known as he is, there's people that hate him so bad that they could build a a strong case. So I would never want to react to that online, but you can send it to me and I'll check it out. Dark Red Knight says, in the last 2 weeks, Asmund has said men are hotter than women. He's worn the same shirt 6 days in a row. He started drinking on stream. And he said severely disabled people shouldn't be born. He's spiraling. It really is, dude. He has had a wild month right now. He's had a wild month. What is going on with Asmund right now? Holy crap. Nandy for 50 says only women can unalive babies. False Me Too accuse men, and meanwhile men lose jobs, relationships as a result of women's actions. But women have lost rights under Trump. There you go. Yeah, I mean, it's really crazy, man. We live in a weird upside down world. Let's see. All good. I assume you'd pre-screen everything on X. Yep, noted, man. I appreciate it, man. Thank you, Nandy. Good to see you, brother. This stream may get age restricted with the topics that I'm talking about right now. So make sure you're following on Rumble and Kick, because I may have to. I don't know what's going to happen. I may have to edit out some of these portions. And Danky, when you edit this for D-Day Cobra 2, you're probably going to have to do quite a bit of editing, just to be clear. Justin Albino says around 95% of abortions are done because of convenience circumstance. If it were about exceptions, leftists would be okay with banning 95%, but they aren't, because it's not about that. 100%. 100%. Jimmy Ray says, not even for the life of the mother. You still try to save the child, even if it means pulling it from the womb. There's no justification for scrambling a baby's brain. And listen, I understand your perspective on that too. But I just feel like that's my exception. But I understand where you're coming from, and I know people are passionate about it from that perspective. But I just believe on a human level that if you're told that your life is in danger for this procedure, I think you have a right to make that choice. But I respect where you're coming from for sure. I 100% understand. Rabnad says, my mom was given the recommendation to abort me. Well, I'm glad you're here, brother. I'm glad you're here. And like I said, the Tim Tebow story is a classic example. And again, I want to find that just so people have the context to that. Let's see. Tim Tebow mom commercial, I think is what it was. Yeah, right here. Right here.
I call him my miracle baby. He almost didn't make it into this world. I can remember so many times when I almost lost him. It was so hard. Well, he's all grown up now, and I still worry about his health. With all our family's been through, we have to be tough. Timmy, we're trying to tell our story here.
Sorry about that, Mom.
That was
You still worry about me, Mom?
Well, yeah.
so that was like a pro life commercial for the Super Bowl all those years ago. And but it's a pretty, like, you can look up the details of it for the things that she had to go through and things like that. But yeah, man, there's actually a video of it where they tell the full story. You can just search out Tim Tebow mom commercial. It's about a 10-minute video. It's right here.
Apart from the power of God.
Explain what happened. What would you like people to hear about your story?
Well, I love to call it a God story because I think a God story is one that's impossible apart from the power of God. And I think Timmy's story is definitely one of those. And Bob, you should start because it's.
Well, it's.
And his dad just recently passed away, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, Tebow's a great guy. And his mom was told, and she made a choice. And clearly she made the right choice. Matt says, was Asmongold dropped when he was a baby? Speed Racer says, Asmongold said, men look better than women. He did say that. Gandalf Sweaty Balrog says, Asmon likely has 1 or 2 fetus endings edit for YouTube. He's had to pay for it in the past, so he's trying to justify it in his own mind. Sean Awesome says, my son's mom was going to get rid of him. Texas law saved his life. Now he's very lovely 4-year-old. She was having a mood swing. Dark Red Knight says he's been drinking bottles on stream. Maybe it's Dr. Pepper. Okay. East Coast Toast Boy says all good. Oh, I got that one. And Mod Eric says 7.8 magnitude quake off. Yeah, we covered it. We covered that one off Philippines, Japan, and Indonesia. I think we got Pre-Dawn Corpse with another 52 kicks on Kick. Thank you. Appreciate that. U.S. airbase in Saudi Arabia allegedly hit by Iran. Really? Good Lord, man. It's nonstop tonight. It's nonstop. Let me see. Right now, I've got nothing but Philippines in my algorithm now because I clicked on one freaking story. And here we are. Let's see here. What is this? Okay, here we got this. So tonight's retaliatory strikes by Israeli Air Force reportedly targeted Iranian missile launch sites and other military bases operated by the IRGC, with possible strikes also targeting aircraft in the international airport in Tehran. Marmillan for 10 says, I was a high-risk pregnancy, a lot of issues. The question that never came up to end it was supposed to have downs. Came out healthy, just normal amount of tarded. I mean, I don't know. You're not a normal amount of retarded, Marmillan. You send way too much money to be a normal. You're extremely retarded, like in the best way, but you send way too much money to be normal. All right. All due respect. You're not as retarded as John freaking Murdoch or somebody like that, but you're pretty close. So, hail Marmillan. I'm glad everything worked out for you, brother. I really am. We got the best chat, man. And yeah, it's not an easy conversation. It's not an easy discussion. But the thing, there's Laughing Man says, I never super chat Jeremy. I only ignore saying you because I know you'll pop up and say something. And by the way, Laughing Man was so nice. Messaged me the other day. He was trying to save me some money on something. He's such a nice guy. He's the nicest guy in the world. I'll never say that again, though. But in all seriousness, this is obviously a tough topic, but it's just like, as a streamer, when you're sitting here taking a ending the life of a child based on health and, Down syndrome or whatever else, you literally are talking to people. If you're a streamer, you're talking to people that faced those same ideas, and you're essentially telling the people in your chat that they shouldn't even be here. That is an incredibly terrible thing to say to people. Why would you say that? I don't understand it. You're literally telling people in your chat, hey, yeah, you shouldn't even be here. It's crazy. Playing God, exactly, Laughing Man. It's man. People have no perspective on anything. They have no context on anything. They don't think about how that really lands. And it's sad. I love this chat so much. I love this chat. I was also being strangled by umbilical cord. Probably why I'm such a dumbass. Freaking love this chat. Like, probably why I'm such a dumbass. Self-awareness is a very powerful tool on the internet, okay? And as long as you can laugh at yourself, you'll be completely okay. That's the bottom line, okay? Jeremy, are you seeing anything with California election? Is Pratt going to lose now, you think? Unfortunately, he has officially lost. Sadly, that's where we are. Spencer Pratt has officially lost because they cheated him out of it. Yeah. It's over. They cheated right in front of our very eyes. And let me see if I can find it. I was wanting to... yeah, here we go right here. And there it is. After 5 days of statistically impossible ballot drops, Rahman has pulled ahead of Spencer Pratt. The DOJ needs to keep investigating. This can't be allowed to keep happening in America. California's third world election system needs to be banned. So that is where it's at. He is now officially in third place. It's insane. It's absolutely ridiculous. So that's the latest. It's over. It's over. Narco says, I agree with that. The only time except in grape or abortion is acceptable, and that is another topic. Baby is innocent. Is when the mother's life is legitimately danger. I stress legitimately. Exactly. Legitimately. 100%. And putting the word legitimately on there is important. Aaron Adams says, I think Trump needs to just walk away and let them fight. Even if he got a deal when him and JD is gone, Iran will go back to the same old things. I'm sure he's thinking about that, but he's kind of too far in to walk away now. Jeeping Baylor says, I am honestly against abortion in all cases unless it stops another beardo from entering this world. Lapco says there's some genuinely horrific defects. I can't even pronounce that. But with modern scans, there's no reason to wait until the 9th month to act. Agreed. Okay. Let me see if there's any update. Right now, we have Saudi Arabia's has issued a advisory warning citizens to take shelter and follow official instructions. So they are anticipating that they could get retaliatory strikes tonight. What a disaster the Middle East is, man. Israel's reportedly preparing for additional waves of Iranian strikes following their strike against targets inside Iran. And what seems to be a resumption of reciprocal strikes between the two regional rivals. Again, this is why nobody else wanted to deal with this problem. And so, obviously, I commend President Trump for wanting to get involved with this shit and handle it. But on the other hand, this is why no one else wanted to deal with it too. So this is gonna take so much to unfuck this. The Middle East is such a disaster. It's embarrassing. 90% of the problems in the Middle East is Iran, says Dan Campbell. Iran always shoots back. What a mess. Dethu says, don't care. Dethu, do you mean you don't care what? You don't care about CobraCast? Or you don't care about what's going on in the Middle East? I understand. Like, both probably apply, but which is it? Do you not care about CobraCast, or do you not care about what's going on in the Middle East? Just need some clarification, brother. Okay? That's all. Let's see. Sling Hopes has been watching Aspen for a while, and one thing he says every day is the people criticizing what I said actually agree with me. His ego is out of control. He's become super successful, so it's okay. I don't care about Jeremy either, says Zero Gun Rival. Aaron Adams says, I'm saying if he don't want to fight it anymore. Oh, I know exactly what you meant. I knew what you meant. Nate says, I don't care about Beardo. What Beardo do? Joe Zilla says, love CobraCast. Don't care about the Durka. Turn them into glass. John the Winskin says, what Aspen said bothered me. Have you seen Mercury Rising? Bruce and Baldwin confront each other about the autistic kid. Alec called him one of nature's mistakes who cannot survive on his own. Madness. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how Asman navigates this, because I do think in a lot of ways he's so popular and his audience is so loyal that he has become so used to just, being able to move past it. Because he's never, it's not like he hasn't had takes that his audience has disagreed with him on big time. This is a really bad one, though. This is a next level bad one. Yeah, exactly, Rabnad. Elon Musk has Asperger's. Need I say more? By Asmongold's logic, Elon Musk should not be here because he is a burden on society and he's a burden on his family. Yep. That's what Asmon, that was his logic right there. If he shows any defects or any issues, get him gone. He'll be a burden on society. I present to you Elon Musk. Valkyria Winter says, I only care about Fuda time. All hail, or hail all and skull. Let's go. Let's go, Valkyria Winter. Been a long time. Can someone tell me what he said? I mean, you could go back probably 20 or 30 minutes. I reacted to it. The whole clip of me reacting to what Asmon said will be on D-Day Cobra 2 after Danky edits it. Not sure when he's going to do that, but we'll see. Brie Larson, Super Mario Galaxy made $1 billion. Is that your way of like making me mad? To say like Brie Larson, Super Mario Galaxy made $1 billion. Congratulations, Brie. I'm a huge fan of Brie Larson. I'm a huge fan. Okay, that's fair. You said Disgrace Randolph. I've never heard her called Disgrace Randolph. That's pretty good. Was wrong. Brie Larson, Super Mario Galaxy made $1 billion. You're actually right. She didn't hurt the movie at all. She didn't hurt the movie at all. I thought she was great. I thought she was great in the role. So I'm very happy Mario Galaxy made $1 billion. The Michael movie is going to make $1 billion as well. So that's $2 billion movies, and both of the movies I have very much loved. And that's awesome. Now we'll see what happens with the Odyssey. I have no idea what to expect. I have no idea. I think the Odyssey is going to, I think it's still going to be a very good movie with some very distracting issues with the casting. That's my prediction for it. And right now I'm sitting at about a $750 to $800 million box office. That's what I'm setting at right now. I don't think it's going to hit $1 billion. I think about 750 or 800 million box office. That's what I think. We'll see, though. We'll see. It's going to be a shit show. It's going to be an absolute shit show. Narcos is 300 max. Bro, Tenet made $370 million in the middle of COVID. Come on, man. Come on. What are we talking about? You guys are crazy if you think there is like no chance that the Odyssey makes less than 500 million. There's no world. There's no world where the Odyssey doesn't make minimum. It could be the worst movie ever, and it's still going to make $500 million. Still. It could be a complete shit show. Let me see here. Johnny Witt got that one. Aaron Adams says, if Gold gets sick, he's going to check himself out. Maybe. By his own logic. He-Man flopped. Yeah, I mean, it did. I mean, it's a massive flop. I don't think anyone expected He-Man to be like $1 billion movie. It seems like a lot of people are really liking He-Man. I was, like I said, I'm just kind of middle of the road. So what up, Willie Will? I see you. But we shall see. How much money did Odyssey make from pre-sales? I don't know if we know that. I don't know if there's any way to tell. I mean, I saw some reports. I don't know how well you should take that. Like right here, the Odyssey sells 150,000 tickets in its initial pre-sales opening weekend domestic. In comparison, Oppenheimer sold 65,000. So if you want to believe these numbers, then the Odyssey sold nearly 3 times as many tickets for opening weekend as Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer went on to make nearly $1 billion. I don't know if I believe that number, but that's from this box office guy right here. So there's that, but I don't know if that's true. I have no idea. Let's see. Maverick77 Defender says Taj Jackson interview, Michael Jackson, Shady Oprah, Justin Timberlake, and more on Geeks and Gamers. That's right. That is right. Let me see. Isn't that closer to 2 times than 3 times? I mean, if you're estimating, I mean, if it did 65, what are you talking about? 180. So give or take. Get Metatron on FNT when Odyssey drops. He's been a fire over that lately. That'd be a great rant. Oh yeah, he's been ranting every day about it because he's caught up on the armor. Nobody gives a fuck about the armor. Nobody gives a fuck. The casting is the problem with the movie. That's what people care about. The disastrous casting and the dialogue. That's the shit that can hurt the movie. Nobody gives a fuck about the fucking the armor. Nobody gives a fuck. Yeah, Shad does. Like I said, nobody cares. The same people that care about the armor were the people that were bitching about the historical inaccuracies about Troy. And Troy was fucking awesome. And the history bros were crying about Troy. Oh my God, Brad Pitt can't be Achilles. That's what they were saying. I'm old enough to remember. I know history has completely looked at Troy differently, but I'm telling you, when Troy came out, history bros were crying about it, and they hated Brad Pitt being Achilles because Brad Pitt was not viewed as Brad Pitt today. Brad Pitt was viewed as a pretty boy and all of that. Nobody wanted Brad Pitt in that fucking movie. They all hated it. And they all bitched because there was no realistic gods in the movie, and they ignored the gods for the most part, and they cried because Orlando Bloom was in it because they thought it was made for women. They bitched about the historical inaccuracies. Troy was a fucking awesome movie. And now all the history bros cry and say it's great now. It's like, you motherfuckers were crying about it. You were all whining about Troy back then. I wasn't. Troy was awesome. Fucking great movie. Narco says Shad lives matter. Do they? Do they? Let's see here. Eric Bana was great. He was. I mean, Troy's just a great movie. Like that fight scene between Hector and Achilles is one of the greatest fight scenes that I've ever seen in a movie because it doesn't have any extra fluff to it. It's a legitimate fight scene between two warriors. It's amazing. Willie Will says it was so. All right, we hit 3 hours, ladies and gentlemen. So a 3-hour CobraCast in the books. And Laughing Man says Jeremy is illegitimate. What does that even mean? What does that even mean? That fight scene was cool, but didn't save the movie for me. I totally understand that. I love the movie Troy. It's up there. Like Gladiator's probably the better movie, but I've always put Gladiator and Troy in the same conversation. I know the majority of you in the chat are going to say Gladiator because Gladiator is highly revered. But in that era, it was Gladiator, Troy, and The Last Samurai. Those were my movies back in the day. I used to watch the hell out of all 3 of those movies. Last Samurai doesn't get discussed as much as it should. I've saw some wokies out there saying that nobody bitched about Tom Cruise being the last samurai. And I'm like, you've never seen the movie, have you? You've never seen the movie. Because whenever we would bitch about like race swaps and all, like all of these guys love The Last Samurai where Tom Cruise was the last samurai. I was like, you've never seen the fucking movie. Oh, and Braveheart. Braveheart's another one. Braveheart's goated. My story about Braveheart is back in my day, there was a wonderful, magical place. Story time with Jeremy, okay? Back in my day, there was this wonderful, magical place called Blockbuster Video. Maybe you've heard of it. Blockbuster Video was this magical place where you could go and you could rent movies and video games and you could get some candy. It was amazing. Okay. And I'll never forget, my parents would take me to Blockbuster and we would go pick out a movie every weekend. And every single weekend, the way that we would judge a movie if it was worth seeing back then when it would release is how many copies Blockbuster had on the wall. And if you saw a movie that had an entire section, you're like, oh shit, this movie must be amazing because Blockbuster has a ton and they're all rented out. So you knew they're like, if this Blockbuster has an entire wall of one movie and it's all rented out, I got to see this movie. Well, there's two movies in particular that I was not familiar with until I saw them all rented out at Blockbuster. It was Braveheart and it was The Fugitive, Harrison Ford and Tommy Lee Jones. So every week, my entire week was just anticipating going to Blockbuster to see if Braveheart was available. Okay? Like, oh my goodness, man. It was just like, and The Fugitive, Braveheart and The Fugitive. So every week I would go in there and every week I'd go and I'd go, it's rented again. And I'll never forget going in there and finally seeing these two movies there. And it was like a light beam from heaven was shining down and the wonderful, graceful music was playing and it was there and it was beautiful. And I'm like, this is going to be the best weekend ever. Mom, can we get pizza? Because we're watching The Fugitive and Braveheart this weekend. It was great. Now, all you got to do is go on your phone and order it. You can watch whatever the fuck you want. Not the same, man. It's not the same. Not the same. Let's see here. Sullivan says, Disproves Odyssey video delve into woke problems. Well, again, I'm not disputing that. I've already said, like, my last video I made for Geeks and Gamers, I said that the Odyssey deserves to fail, but I don't think it will fail. But by the same standard that we're going to hold the Odyssey to, we should hold two movies that I mentioned earlier to the same standard. If we're going to hold things to that standard, let's hold it. Man of Steel and Masters of the Universe both had race swaps. Are you going to be mad about those race swaps like you are about the Odyssey? I don't know. Are you going to hold that movie accountable for the blatant race swaps that it had? Just saying. Stephen Brown says, did you see Greg's video about the mayor that has gone missing? God bless. I have not. I have not even heard about that. Johnny Whiskey says, for inconveniences, there's always adoption. Agreed. TJ says, heard of it. I can smell it. I can still smell it. You can do both. Oh, I agree. And that's my point where I said, I think that the Odyssey has a chance to be a very good movie that's going to be completely drugged down by the race swaps and the casting. That's consistently what I've said. Mo Zamboni says, Blockbuster pro tip, did any returns just come in? Yes, we would always do that. We would always do that. The Odyssey is a culture swap, not just race. Well, then I hope that everybody who keeps telling me how great the Armand Asante movie was, which it was, I hope they have the same energy because the same thing happened in that one. The difference is Vanessa Williams is actually like really gorgeous and Lupita Nyong'o is not. So nobody has a problem with Vanessa Williams in the Odyssey TV series, which is the definitive version of the Odyssey on screen, by the way. Dermy Wormy with the raid. What up, Dermy Wormy? Being an actually good movie also helps. Agreed. The cultural event of the year will be the Odyssey. Christopher Nolan deserves all the criticism he's getting. He deserves all the backlash he's getting. And I stand by that. But I also have perspective and context with everything that I talk about on it. Trump posted about California. Did he? All right, let me go over there and check. Oh, yep, he just did. Thank you for letting me know. Okay, we got a post from President Trump right here. Has anybody been watching the crooked election going on in California? 2 great Republican candidates are being cheated, and so is America. What if the Democrats are able to fulfill their mission? Great trouble and consternation will follow. Watch this election closely. So there you have it right there. So he did address it finally. Let me see. It's a nothing post. Do something about it. Well, I mean, what do you want Trump to do? I mean, that would be the question. Like, what do you want him to do? Do you want Trump to just fly there to Air Force One and, boots on the ground with the Marines and take over? Because he can't do that. What the fuck do you want him to do? Like, we're talking about reality, not like in fantasy land. So what do you actually want him to do? I know it's a rhetorical question. I know that's what you want him to do. But Speed Force says, can you tell Gary about the membership bug? Because he has a YouTube rep. I will tell him. All right, 3 hours and a raid from Dermy Wormy, but we're going to be ending. So, Dermy, I appreciate the raid, brother. We were wrapping up here, and the chat has been awesome as always. So, thank you guys for hanging out. Multiple CobraCast tomorrow. So, there will be one kind of early afternoon after lunch. And then there will be one in the evening, double CobraCast to catch up on all the time that I missed. We're back. I appreciate you guys. Thank you all so much. And thanks for all the super chats. 3 more hours, says Bill Herb. No, not 3 more hours. Not tonight. But and double CobraCast tomorrow. And I'd like to run some more of that new Fortnite map if I can get the boys together. Okay. So because we get Jay, Beardo, maybe Mo. Maybe we'll let Mo play. Do we really want Mo to play? I don't know. We'll see. But thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. I hope you have a good... Bill Herb says, I'll send you 500 for 1 more hour. No, you fucking won't. 500 for 1 more hour. 500 for 1 more hour? Fuck it. All right, 1 more hour. 500 for 1 more hour. Let's see if you can put your money where your mouth is. Let's go. I don't think you'll do it. It won't let me. Oh, you fuck you. You know what? I respect it. He said it won't let me. I respect it. He says it said daily limit reached RIP. Damn. Well, daily limit reached. It's weird. I don't really know does anybody know what the daily limit is on YouTube? Because I don't know what it is. Jeremy going for the Grift Master. Not me. Oh, and Dermy also rated over on Kick, so I appreciate that, man. Rumble Wallet. yeah, we can do the Rumble. What is it, Willie Will? It can't be 500, is it? I know Willie Will would know, though. Is it 500? That's a daily limit? That's interesting. $500 super chat and 100 gifties. So that's the limit. Okay. I thought 500, but it let me send... okay. So Laughing Man would know, too. Laughing Man says, I thought 500, but it let me send 50 gifties. Okay. All right. Noted. Get it together, man. I got you, Bill. DOJ. You know what? Just for the hell of it, Not even going to grift it. I'll do another 20 minutes because we do have more stuff we can talk about. So we'll do another 20, and I won't even grift it. Won't even grift it, okay? So I do want to keep up with what's going on with this Iran situation. If we can get more updates. By the way, and I don't know if I covered this the other day, but at the Turning Point event right here, this weirdo dressed up like Charlie Kirk and reenacted, the awful moment. We'll get rid of the spammer. Deport the spammer. Get him gone. But I don't know if they've figured out who this loser is or not. But what a horrible human being this person is. Not surprised, but this is the left for you. This is what they do. This is what they do. You won't grift it? Are you feeling okay? You know what? People take care of me over here. So, check this out. I got to show you this. All right. Lauren Boebert goes ballistic after Fox reporter asks her about affair allegations between her and Representative Thomas Massie. But before we get to that, Bill for 200 is for the 20 minutes. Let's see if I can send this. Let's freaking go. You see there. This is why I don't have to grift it, because the people are just so damn nice. The snake pit always steps up. Always. Hail to you, Bill. Hail to you. Yeah, man, that spammer's having fun, isn't he? If you keep spamming, you know what we're going to start doing. The last time we had people spam, we just battled with super chats. Okay? So, thank you, Bill. All right, so there's a couple of ways to approach this. Lauren Boebert goes ballistic after Fox reporter asked her about affair allegations between her and Thomas Massie. Okay, let's listen to what Boebert had to say right here.
Fuck you, first of all. If you're going to bring me into this, like, this sexist stuff is, like, out of control. So there's your clickbait that you were looking for. And,
a lot of people.
I don't want to talk about anybody's exes and their crazy that they do. Fuck you.
Okay. So there's a couple of ways to approach this. First of all, Thomas Massie. Well done, my friend. Well done. Not a fan of Thomas Massie, but credit where credit is due. Okay? We appreciate you. I got to give you credit where credit's due. Makara is handling business right now. So, thank you, Makara. Let's see. What is this right here? Oh no. So am I, Danky just sent me this. Hang on. We gotta talk about this real quick. Hang on. So Danky just sent me this because of the topic I was talking about. Hang on. Where's it at? Looks like that I got a warning. Is this from earlier? Maybe that was a little bit early. I'm not sure. Spammers be gone. We'll get that. I'll go back to this in a minute. Willie Will, what the hell, brother? A proper 199 for Willie Will. Woo! Now we're talking. Let's freaking go. Willie Will with a proper 199. We will honor the proper 199 here soon. But back to this. Okay, Boebert. I got to give you credit where credit's due. I'm not a fan of Thomas Massie, but hang on. Let me make sure we get more mods in here. Getting spammed bad. All right, there we go. Just telling the mods that we're getting spammed. I know Makara is handling business. Eric is here. Okay. But back to this. Jokes aside, the fact that she called him a sexist, they always play into the leftist playbook. Always. Every single time. This is what they do. So to me, her reaction tells me she got a lot to hide. But Thomas Massie, Perhaps we treated you too harshly, okay? So I wanted to show that really quick. And yeah, Willie Will is battling the spammers. And since the spammers showed up and Willie Will dropped this and Bill dropped a 200, there's only one way to celebrate. And I think all of you know how we're going to celebrate, don't you? That's right. Time to celebrate. Congrats, Massey. Yeah, absolutely. They're undercover leftists. They really are, man. They really are. But there you have it. Celebration in order. Willie Will, hail to you. And I think we have to show the red dress, right? Don't we have to show the red dress? The red dress is better than this picture. That's the best Sydney Sweeney one right there. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yep. That's a good one. That's a good one. Yep. That's a good one. Yeah. Like, is there any point in me talking or even being here? Should we just should I just leave? Is that better when I'm just not here and you just get to watch Sydney Sweeney? That makes CobraCast a lot better, doesn't it? I agree. I mean, yeah, I agree with that. So anyway, is that Raging Rhino in the house? What up, Raging Rhino? My buddy, your buddy, everybody's buddy, Raging Rhino. Fun with Collectibles says $498 to go. Let's go team chat. LOL 199. Too much talking, Jeremy. Ackle 199. You changed it. 30 years ago on this day, a cinematic masterpiece was released. Here's a hint. Carla was the prom queen. All hail CobraCast. The Rock. I know what movie you're talking about. I reviewed it on Criticless. Hill Reps says, I'm sending this for another 45 seconds of streaming. You guys are insane, man. You guys are insane. What time is it in Australia, Rhino? What time is it there? You guys are in the future, right? Don't you live in the future? Bill with 10 gifted memberships. Laughing Man got one. Look at that, Bill. Laughing Man got one. Are you kidding me? That is crazy. Now, listen, I don't want to talk about this too much, but Bill, I mean, it's hopefully Laughing Man's not upset by what I do here. But since Laughing Man got the membership, Laughing Man, I hope I have your permission to talk about this, but you guys, like, Laughing Man's been wanting a membership for a long time, but he hasn't been able to afford a membership. Sorry to put your business out there, Laughing Man. But so Laughing Man has wanted a membership for a long time. He has not been able to afford one. So now Bill has gracefully gifted him a membership. And I just think we need a round of applause in the chat for Bill for helping Laughing Man out, who has not been able to afford a membership. Appreciate that, Bill. Round of applause. Everybody, congrats. He says, nar. Nar. Oh, man. I love this chat. What up, Summer of Doom? I see you in the chat. Oh, this is perfect right here. Look at this. Breaking. Israel strikes Tehran. Trump. Ah, shit. Here we go again. How does Trump sleep, dude? Like, how does he sleep? How does he do anything? Then there's always some crazy shit popping off with all the stuff that he has going on. Really don't know how he does this. I don't know how he does it. It's crazy. Your best. Losers always whine about their best. Winners go home and blank the prom queen. Stanley Goodspeed. I'm Stanley Goodspeed. Like, dude, The Rock is such a great movie. And you know, obviously you've got Sean Connery, you've got Nicolas Cage. But I think that Ed Harris does not get enough credit for his performance as a general in that movie. Ed Harris is phenomenal in that role. He's so good and so convincing. And every time I watch that, I'm like, I need to see Ed Harris in more military leadership roles. He's phenomenal in that role. Everybody's great. So Nick Cage is obviously awesome. And, Connery is, top of his game. But Ed Harris in The Rock is phenomenal. He really is. I love when he's talking about, the sacrifices that these, soldiers made and their families were not compensated. You can feel the passion where you can feel how passionate he is about that, and it means something to you. And even though he's doing something terrible, you end up like sympathizing with him. Like he's the bad guy. And yet you're sitting there going, no, I'm on his side. I'm on this guy's side. Even though he's doing terrible stuff and he shouldn't be, you're like, you know what? He's right. Yeah, and he is very good in Dutton Ranch. Yes, he is. He's fantastic. The Rock is such a good movie. It really is. And it's that's the thing. Like there was a time where, and this happens a lot. So like I think what's about to happen with Nolan and the Odyssey is there's going to be this window of like where people are going to pretend that Nolan never made a good movie, which is fucking retarded. But that also happened with Michael Bay. So when the Transformers movies came out, especially the second, third, and fourth, you got this point where people were like, Michael Bay is the worst director in the history of the world. And look, to be fair, even I got caught up in that shit as well because I hated those Transformers movies and it made me lose sight of the great stuff that Michael Bay has done. So there for a window there, I was like, dude, Michael Bay can fuck off, man. With these Transformers movies are so bad. But it doesn't change the fact that Michael Bay has made some amazing movies. Armageddon, peak. All right, peak. Obviously, The Rock, 13 Hours. He's made some really good movies. Bad Boys, really good stuff. First Nolan, then Asman falling from grace. The fantastic OG for 20 says the Simpsons theme song is the same as the Tales from the Crypt theme song. Crimson Tide. He did not direct Crimson Tide. Crimson Tide was directed by Ridley Scott's brother, Tony Scott. Tony Scott directed Crimson Tide. The late Tony Scott. Tony Scott's made some damn good movies, by the way. But Crimson Tide was Tony Scott. Thank you for the $20. And Rollin' Tider says $496 to go. Roll Tide. Look at that. Look at that. Tony Scott is incredibly underrated. Might be controversial to say. I might prefer Tony to Ridley. That might be massively controversial. But if you look at Tony Scott's movies, like Man on Fire is one of my favorite movies of all time. I think that Crimson Tide has some of the best acting you'll ever see with Gene Hackman and Denzel Washington. I'm not saying Ridley Scott sucks because he doesn't. Ridley Scott's a legend. But I just prefer Tony Scott's movies, generally speaking. The Last Boy Scout. Didn't Tony Scott do The Last Boy Scout? Am I right about that? Am I right about that? I have to look that up. Tony Scott, The Last Boy Scout. I know he did Top Gun, True Romance. Did he do The Last Boy Scout? He did? Let's see. Raging Rhino is the smartest person in this chat. I don't think The Odyssey will destroy Nolan, but it won't look good for his legacy. I will always thank Nolan for Interstellar. You know what, Raging Rhino? I'm never, ever going to make fun of the way you say no again after that comment. I'm never going to make fun of it again. Never going to do it. I will, but I'm gonna say I won't. But I will still. But no, I mean, there's no destroying Nolan's legacy. Yeah, he can hurt himself with this one. We'll see what happens. It's going to be interesting. The local Rex says Trump and only Trump, not GOP, not MAGA, not America First, just Trump. And BB just messed up. Trump is about to pull the car over. Cry harder, Tucker. Danky says Jeremy destroyed Nolan's legacy. It won't destroy Nolan, but it harms film as a whole. I mean, we got to see the movie first, but yeah, it's definitely it's trending in the wrong direction. This is why you don't hire dumbass mods. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Did you call my mods dumbasses? What did you call my mods dumbass for? Hang on. Jeremy ultra grifting tonight. Not really. You call my mods dumbasses? Mods explain to him, I'll fucking ban you right now just for calling my mods stupid. How then what you gonna fucking do? Then what you gonna fucking do? I'll be the one to ban you, motherfucker. Then what are you gonna do? You got a problem with my mod, you got a problem with me. Mods do exactly what I asked them to do because they're awesome. So if you got a problem with something they did, your problem is with me. No, I'm not going to fucking ban you. I just wanted to get you worked up. But anyway, I would grift off of you before I banned you. Like $100, I'll ban the guy. That's how I would ban you. I'm not just going to ban you without grifting it. Like, come on. So $100, I'll ban that guy. That's how you ban someone, okay? You don't just ban someone like, you got to at least get some money out of it. See, that's ultra grifting right there, laughing, man, okay? But no, it's serious. It's like when you are the mods, like I've made this, I've talked about this before. A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, I was modding on Jay's channel. I don't even think I was modding. I can't remember what I was doing. I guess I was modding. But I think there was somebody that was spamming in Jay's chat or something like that. Or maybe I was accidentally picked up my phone. I can't remember. Maybe I just accidentally picked up my phone. But I accidentally banned Laughing Man from Jay's chat. This is no bullshit. Like I think I was just fumbling around my phone. I think I had Jay's stream open and I accidentally just pressed something on my phone. I think that's what it is. And so I accidentally banned Laughing Man. And I'm like, oh shit. Beastie Man says, I remember that story. Jeremy is always mean to Laughing Man. Yes, it was after he gave Jay a $500 super chat and I banned him. I was like, damn, this sounds like profiling. Maybe a little. You sure did. Willie Will was there too. Uh-oh. I got to address this. Okay, here we go. The story about the YouTuber with getting rid of the kid. He just made a tweet, okay? McJuggernuggets. Y'all can't keep your story straight. It's crazy. Was she 6 months pregnant or 3 months pregnant? 18 weeks or 21 weeks? Was it a definitive Down syndrome diagnosis or just suspected? All the info has already been provided by us, but everyone just picks, chooses, or makes shit up to fit their own narrative. As we creep further into the brain rot era of social media, people will forget how to even properly think for themselves. Did you just talk about brain rot of social media? Are you kidding me right now? This motherfucker talks about brain rot of social media. Ladies and gentlemen, this is his channel. This is his channel. And he wants to talk about a brain rot of social media. Holy projection, bro. Oh my goodness. That is pathetic. Yeah, his name is McJuggernuggets, but brain rot of social media is he's the OG of brain rot. Yes, he is. The conspiracy rabbit holes deepen as people start to question if it was all real or fake. Zooming in on ultrasound pics of my wife's belly. Internet detectives putting in overtime only to discover their own tale. And we're the ones with the problem. You put your family's business on the internet. Now you're upset because people are reacting to you putting your business on the internet. This is why I always say if somebody believes that their family is worth content, they don't deserve sympathy when they step in it. It's crazy to me that somebody thinks that their family is worth content. I am blown away by that. My family is not worth my content. I'm not going to bring that into it. First of all, because my family deserves better than my shitty content. But secondly, man, like your private life is your private life, man. And now you're crying because you decided to post to the internet and make content out of your family. And now you're upset playing the fake victim. Just bullshit, dude. It's just absolute bullshit. It's disgusting. What an absolutely disgusting piece of garbage he is. But again, I've already said I can't stand this dude. I'm not a fan. I have never been a fan of him. And yeah, we want privacy. We want privacy. Harry and Meghan. Exactly. Jeez. All right. So yeah, there's Trump's tweet about California again. Keep your family out of your work. I thought that was common sense. Common sense isn't so common these days. That's the problem. Yeah, Raman cried after losing. Don't worry, though. She found the votes after Election Day. Yeah. Pathetic. Pathetic. All right. Well, we are at the end. 3.5 hours, ladies and gentlemen. This is the longest CobraCast we've had in a while. Oh, thank you, Laughing Man. Laughing Man says, I can end the stream now if you want, Jeremy. Thank you. God, I was hoping you'd say that. It's about damn time. So thank you, Laughing Man, for allowing me to do just that. Again, double CobraCast tomorrow. There's going to be a lot to talk about with California. There's going to be a lot to talk about with Iran and Israel and how Trump is going to respond to that. It's going to be crazy. Prayers up for New York City tomorrow, says Willie Will. Yeah, and we got Trump that's going to be at the New York Knicks game tomorrow. So it's going to be a very, very busy day. Make sure you're following on Kick, on Rumble, and of course on YouTube. Thank you all so much. I do appreciate it. Expect a lot of coverage tomorrow, and I appreciate it. So you guys have a good evening. Thanks for all the love, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for more CobraCast. Bye, everyone.